Texas. It's the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show, the show that discusses arcade repair, restoration, news, and more. Now, here are your hosts, Tim and Jonathan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 101 of the Arcade Repair Tips Live Show for July 2025. My name is Jonathan Leung, the producer, director, and editor here at the Arcade Repair Tips video series. And joining me today, as always, Mr. Arcade Repair Tips himself, Tim Peterson. Tim, how you doing?
Doing good, John. Well, happy 4th.
Pre-Independence Day.
Yeah,
right?
I should have worn my red, white, and blue.
Absolutely. I thought the same thing. You know, Father's Day, I have my Father's Day shirt on.
Yeah.
Because, we had it this past month. So, but anyway, you excited? You got big plans?
Yeah, I got a few plans. I think we may go see some fireworks tomorrow night. That's kind of iffy. But really, everybody's coming over Saturday. Right. Saturday, we're going to grill and have the whole family over. And the baby will be there, so everybody can see the baby and stuff. So we're pretty excited. Of course, a lot of our listeners don't live in the United States.
That's true. And
if you're from England, thank you. Good luck at work tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right. We give you a hard time, but thank you for being here. And for those that are celebrating with us, whatever you do, stay safe. And gosh, stay hydrated. It seems like the heat level just went up a little bit extra the last couple of weeks, or maybe I'm just feeling it more.
Now,
this
I will
year.
say for July, this is not terrible here.
Not horrible.
Did you see though? Like we were in like the high 80s, but New York was like in the 90, like top 90s.
I saw a video today of a hailstorm in New York, and it was like, it's like spring weather kind of here or something. So yeah, and that's really hot for up in New York. So if you're up in the northern part and you're in the 90s. That might as well be 110 down here. So it's kind of like when I went to Germany and they're like, well, you're used to it being hot. I'm like, I'm used to sitting in the air conditioning when it's hot. I'm not used to coming in where there's no air conditioning. So thank you for those of you who join with us. We hope that you're staying cool. And, but yeah, I'm excited for the 4th, long 3-day weekend. I like it because it fell on Friday. So I'm off the next 3 days and just going to enjoy some time with family.
Absolutely. And Tim, it looks like we have a lot of turnout tonight, probably because of the 4th. I figure some people are probably already started on their Independence Day festivities, which is fine. So if you're watching this after the 4th, hopefully you did have a good July 4th Independence Day holiday here in the United States. And like Tim mentioned, if you're not here, we hope that you have a good week as well. So, Tim, let's go ahead and look at the live chat. Let's see who else joining us tonight. We've got Encore's Arcade is here. He says, Happy 4th of July, Tim.
Thank you.
Peter is here. He says, Happy 4th. General Strife is here. Hello. And let's see. And he says he's going to switch over to one of his other accounts. So there you go. Now, Tim, General Strife won the quiz
Trivia.
for last month.
He did.
And he got his prize package, and he actually sent a picture of him receiving it, which we'll share here in a little bit.
Awesome.
Maybe when we're waiting for people to join the quiz tonight.
We got another quiz.
We do, but no hints.
Okay.
Last month we did. Yeah, I was about to say last month we did the quiz on arcade repair tips. It was literally on us. It was the 100th show.
And I lost my own quiz.
You did. So General
pretty
Strife.
sad.
Yeah, exactly. And Real Hammer Billy Lee, I haven't seen him pop up yet here, Tim, but he's usually pretty good on these quizzes as well.
Okay.
So you may have a chance to win tonight.
I might. Maybe the crowd if it stays down, but who knows? Maybe some people are just running late. Everybody's getting off of work. It's later.
Yeah, you may have to wait. Some people have to work extra, Tim, in order to take that day off.
That's right.
I fortunately got off early, which was nice. But I understand if you had to work a little bit later just so you can get that extra day off. That's always a big deal as well. Dragon Punch Dave is here. He says, Hi, Tim and Jonathan and all. It's in the low hundreds here in Arizona. Happy 4th of July. Now, Arizona is hotter than us typically, Tim.
Right.
So,
but they always say it's like a dry heat. I don't care. It's hot. Every time I go to Arizona, it's hot. Dry heat, low heat. My oven's a dry heat, but it still burns me. So hang in there out there in Arizona.
And now we got Alan here. And he says, hot dog eating contest tomorrow. Now, Tim, did you hear the big thing about the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
I have not heard any.
Joey Chestnut is allowed to participate again. Last year he was not allowed to participate. There was an issue, but he is back this year.
Okay.
And we'll see if Joey can take the crown again. Tim, do you watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
I've watched it live a couple of times, but normally I always just watch the replay later. It's almost I can't watch that and eat at the same time.
No.
But and I think I would always like to try something like that just to. I don't want to try the hot dog eating contest, but maybe like a big steak eating contest just to see under the pressure how much I could eat. I've never had a reason to.
Yeah.
But if you told me something was free, if I ate it all, I'm wondering.
Oh.
I'm wondering if so maybe I'll try that sometime. But no, it's crazy amount of hot dogs that they eat now.
Oh, yeah. And there's a time limit, but I mean, golly, I think I forget how many. I mean, I want to say like 60 or something, or between 40 and 60.
I know it's
ridiculous.
50 something.
Yeah, it's somewhere between
nuts.
there. Jason says odds are on Joey Chestnut.
Okay.
So I have not looked at the betting lines for the nation's famous hot dog eating contest tomorrow, but apparently Joey's in the lead on the odds, Tim, which does not surprise me at all. And with that said, we hope the odds are in your favor as you're repairing some games this Independence Day. And Tim, we have some people that maybe we can help out that have written in, and so we'll be getting to those questions here now.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. Okay.
Let's start.
And remember that if you are in the live chat, that you can interact with us during the show. You can leave your comments, questions there. So if you have any arcade-related questions, or if you just want to hear our thoughts about the Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest tomorrow, we'll be happy to share those as well. Let's see. General Strife says, I'm kind of back to making content again. I've got an arcade video in the middle of editing and a couple of Nerf videos in the pipeline. Good to hear that. So,
awesome.
Guys, we'd always encourage you to make content. So if you're fixing games, why not set up that video camera, shoot a little bit of video, put it up on YouTube, because Tim, I really do feel like there's really no bad content in a way. It's all good if it's beneficial, especially if you're showing somebody how to do something.
Right.
So that's a great way to do it. So anyway, guys, we're so glad that you guys are here tonight with us, and hopefully, like we said, you'll have a great Independence Day, 4th of July on Saturday. But Tim, with all that said, let us get on to our questions. And this first question that we have, Tim, is from Fera, and they write, "Hi, I am having a problem with my JAMA board. I don't know what's wrong. Can you help me?" And Tim, that's all we got, but we got some pictures. Now you can see it's a pretty standard JAMA board. But if you look at that first picture on the left, you're going to see a whole bunch of lines through that image. You see that?
Kind of what we call the jail bar.
Yeah, it's like a jail bar style effect. And it looks like there may be some other character issues. It's kind of hard to see on these pictures without them being blown up. But some of the characters in the copyright on the title screen are also a little messed up. And so, Tim, obviously we're having a board issue here with Fera's board. So what do you think they can do in order to get this game going again?
Well, it's really cool that he gave us two pictures, because you look at one, you're like, well, is it a monitor issue or something? But he sent us both pictures. So he's obviously got some kind of ROM issue, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something going on. But we don't always just want to assume it's a board issue until we start at power and we make sure our voltages are correct. We've seen some really boards, if they're not getting the right voltage, can do some weird stuff. So we want to make sure that it's not a voltage issue that's causing it to malfunction. Now, once he does that, he can watch our video on troubleshooting boards and stuff. That might help him. Sometimes it's just a chip or something, but a lot of times when it looks like this, you can push and reset the chips. But I think he has some kind of error issue with that there is on that board.
Now, Tim, you saw the title screen, and it was in Japanese.
Right.
But with that said, do you know what game it was?
I think it was Pocket Gal.
Pocket Gal would be correct. That is correct, Tim. So what we would know is Super Pool 3, I think.
Yeah.
Like the United States version of that. The English version, if you will, is Super Pool 3. But Pocket Gal is what it's more commonly known as in Japan. So if you're looking at that. But let's go ahead and throw the slide up here so everybody can kind of see. So like Tim mentioned, let's start off by identifying the board, Tim. From the pictures, it looks like you've got a Pocket Gal or a Super Pool 3 bootleg, Tim, JAMA board. And the reason we know it's bootleg is because it's got Yada East instead of Data East. And you can see it barely if you look at the title card screen. So Yada East, Tim, was what they used for a lot of the bootleg versions of the board. Now, the bootlegs are very common to the original board. Like the hardware is very similar. So, what we're telling you to do may not, it for the most part, should be the same. Now, based on your pictures, it does look like you have a board issue. Like Tim said, though, make sure that the power supply voltage is correct, as low voltage can cause the board to malfunction. If the voltage is good, let's examine the board and try some basic troubleshooting, such as pushing on or reseating chips. And check out our post on inspecting an arcade board for more info. When we have the jail bars like that, Tim, a lot of times it's like video RAM may be an issue with that. And so a lot of times RAM chips are seated on the board, and so you may be able to pull those RAM chips and then reseat them and get them working again. You may need to replace those as well, just depending. So, but it could be a ROM issue. I'm not necessarily ruling that out, but usually with when you have graphic glitches like this where it's kind of straight bars or something like that, probably leaning more towards like a RAM issue over a ROM issue, just depending. So, but it is a bootleg board, so it's a little hard. It is similar hardware, but not exactly the same. So some of the RAM chips may be a little bit different. Some of the ROM chips may be a little different than what we're used to with the standard Pocket Gal board. And unfortunately, Tim, Pocket Gal was pretty much the only game I think that ran on this hardware. I don't think there was another game that ran on it. So it's not as well documented as we have with like Pac-Man, for instance, or Street Fighter, where, you know, like obviously CPS1, tons of games run on CPS1 platform, tons of games run on CPS2 platform, or on some of the Namco hardware. This is pretty much a one and done kind of hardware. So doing the troubleshooting on this is a little bit more difficult than what you may have as far as finding documentation goes. Tim, anything else that we need to mention here about Fera's issue before we move on?
I think it's just funny. Back in the day, we didn't think much about bootleg boards, but if we were today's, you know, if games were just coming out today, they probably would really go after people making bootleg boards and stuff. But I was thinking Yada East is kind of like the Temu of the boards.
That's true. Yeah, right? Exactly right.
Like something you bought from Sheen or something,
yes.
You know. And so anyway, back in the day, evidently there were somehow
got a Temu Pocket Gal.
It's kind of funny how operators were getting that stuff when there wasn't the internet.
Right.
So they were probably getting stuff in the mail or something that says, "Hey, we can sell this demo this board." They probably didn't even call it a bootleg board. They just similar board or something. But
well, it could be some distributors, Tim, would have the bootleg boards that they would sell for cheaper than the original boards.
Maybe.
Sometimes you like in magazines that like people would be advertising boards. They wouldn't tell you it was a bootleg. They would just tell you that, hey, here's a Pac-Man board or whatever. Boom, shows up, and you don't know. I mean, it plays the same, so you don't know it's a bootleg. You know. But, so it's very interesting though how bootleg boards work. Now we know that companies like Capcom went to encrypted chips and things like this to stop from all the bootlegging, right? And that was a big deal. And so, you know, there were companies that obviously were trying to get around that. And today, Tim, that's what they would do as well, I'm sure, is use some sort of encryption on the board in order to keep it from being bootlegged and things like that. Tim, we see this with like USB keys, right? Like on the PC-based games, you have like a USB key that has to be in the game at all times. It's constantly checking to make sure it's there. Same kind of security style, you know, thing.
But first I'd heard of Yada East. I thought that was kind of interesting.
So Fera hopefully answers your question. If you need additional help, please let us know. But let's look at our video on, what's the name of that one? It is Inspecting an Arcade Board. Check out our video on inspecting an arcade board in our post as well. Try some of the techniques we talk in that video. And then check your power supply as well. And let us know what you find. If you need additional help, please let us know. Coming back over to the live chat, Tim, Alan says that the hot dog eating contest is 10 minutes.
Oh, so it's quick.
Yeah, it goes by fast. I know that. And they usually show it like on a loop, like you mentioned. So if you don't catch it when it's live, you can usually catch the loop version later on.
Lots of videos on it.
Yeah, exactly. So I know that 4th of July is big for like going out to the lake, Tim. You got any lake plans or anything like that?
No, with the baby around, we don't quite venturing out into the water yet. So probably just sitting at the house. Like I said, maybe some, I know we're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs and probably some watermelon or something. Sure. Some good summer treats, maybe ice cream or something.
Yeah, we got, I was about to say, hamburgers already got done in the fridge, Tim. I got the, I like the Omaha steaks. Oh, so nice. I got some Omaha steak burgers that are I'm done out in the fridge right now, so we can cook them tomorrow. So looking forward to that for sure. Joystick says, "What's up, Chad? Long time. Watch your first time comment. Love the stream. Keep it up." So there you go.
Well, thank you.
There we go, Tim. Anyway, we're so glad that all you guys are here tonight because, like I said, I figured the turnout would be kind of light just because, day before the 4th, a lot of people are probably already starting their vacations. So yeah. Joe says, "Just got here. Life of an HVAC tech, Tim," and I can just say from personal experience, we love HVAC techs. Right. So, without them, I don't know what we would do half the time.
You're busy. This
for sure. This is the busiest time of year for sure. Peter says, "Sounds delicious." I think he's talking about the hot dog eating contest there. So, like you said, I've never done any kind of challenge or contest or anything like that.
I think I'd try it one time.
I've seen like a lot of episodes of Man vs. Food back when we actually did like the challenges and stuff. But man, I tell you what, some of the ones where you have to eat like the big chicken fried steak or the big burger or something like that, you can count me out. So it's too much for me. But anyway. So if you're cooking up something for tomorrow, let us know what you're cooking up. I'd like to know too. So
Yeah.
me and Tim are doing the same old burgers. Did you say steaks maybe? Or
No, we're just burgers and hot dogs.
those are always good.
I got some steaks. We'll probably save those for like Sunday or something.
See, so every year my company gifts us Omaha steaks for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And so I just throw those in the freezer and I thaw them out just throughout the year to eat. So, like I said, the burgers are tomorrow, but I've already eaten some of that from December. So that stuff stays pretty well. You know, they vacuum pack it and everything, and it's good quality stuff. So, okay. Let's see. So it's like Omaha steaks. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought about cooking ribs. That's kind of
Ribs are good.
We've done ribs before on the holiday. So my request was, for some reason, I have a craving for potato salad. But I went to a reunion last week and we had potato salad. So my wife's like, "Oh, you got your fix." And I'm like, "Oh, kinda. I could eat it 2 weeks in a row. It's no law against it." But
so, I'm not a huge potato salad fan, Tim, but
I used to hate it as a kid.
Yeah, but I will tell you what we do instead is kind of similar. We do sour cream and ranch dressing, and then mix it in with the potatoes.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of like our potato salad kind of thing. So it's an alternative for people who aren't as big on like some of like mustard or mayonnaise and stuff like that.
Oh,
so,
I would love it.
There you go. Joe says my wife bought a can of Wendy's chili for the hot dogs. Can't believe I'm excited to try that. Tim, Wendy's has some good chili. I don't know if people realize that. So if you haven't had Wendy's chili, you can go there and get it anytime. It's good stuff. So
they sell a family chili now.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. There we go.
Big bucket of it.
Okay. Well, I think we'll get away from food again, Tim. I feel like we're getting off topic.
That's all right. It's close. It's 4th. We're celebrating.
That's exactly right. So let's go ahead and move on to our next question from Jeffrey. And Jeffrey writes, Tim. Hey guys, I am working with a global arcade classics upright by Global VR. Recently, the 25-inch VGA monitor powers on as normal. I can hear it as well as see night glow. But as soon as I plug in the VGA cable from the PC, it immediately turns off. When I unplug the VGA cable, the monitor comes back on. Using a temporary monitor with it shows the machine working fine. Other than it only actually boots the front loader 1/8 of the time or so. Software issue, I think Global VR has some documentation about that issue. I'm kind of lost. Anyway, thanks in advance for any help you can provide. Best wishes, Jeffrey. Now, Tim, the Global VR Global Arcade Classics is PC based. It is a PC based game system. So let me tackle the front loader issue. He is right that they do have some documentation on that, and usually what it involves is just reflashing the hard drive. So you can get the disks to do the re-imaging of the hard drive. You just get those disks, pop them in, it overwrites it, and usually it'll fix any kind of bootloader issues that you're having with the PC. So that part is pretty much taken care of. But Tim, what about the monitor? So here's the deal. VGA monitor, plugs it in, it just totally goes off. Unplugs it, comes back on. Okay. Now he can hook a regular computer CRT up to it, and it works fine. Okay. Right. So it is a monitor issue.
That would be my first question. Yeah, if you could hook it up there and it works fine, it is a monitor issue.
Right.
So something's happening when it's shutting down. The first thing that I would check is to make sure that, I guarantee you, if that's a Global VR game, about that time when they first come out, they were still tube monitors, but they used a tri-sync monitor. So it could be that it's on the wrong setting, like not set to VGA, and that could be just giving it some kickback. That's one thing I would check to make sure your monitor settings are set up for VGA. Because I guarantee y'all, I bet it was a tri-sync monitor that's in there.
And let's talk about tri-sync real quick. So what tri-sync means is that it's compatible with 3 different kinds of sync. Standard resolution, which is 15 kilohertz. Medium resolution, 25 kilohertz, which some games use. And 31 kilohertz, which is actually a VGA signal. Now, if you have the monitor set to 15 kilohertz, but you give it a 31 kilohertz signal, it'll die. Because it's expecting one signal and it's getting another. Now, here's the thing. You can send 15 kilohertz out of a VGA port. That's what the arcade VGA used to do for Multimark Town.
Right.
So there may be a time where you do have it hooked up with a VGA, but you want the monitor to be 15 kilohertz. Okay. In most cases, though, if you're hooking up a VGA cable, you probably want to be 31 kilohertz because that's what a computer typically puts out. And so what Tim's saying is just check to make sure that if it's set to whatever it should be from the PC, more than likely 31 kilohertz mode is what you want.
If you're not sure about that, look at the monitor that you have. You can send us some pictures and we can tell you where that is. Or you could look up what brand and monitor you have and look at its manual and probably tell you how to do that.
Sure.
How to switch.
Yeah, sometimes it's a physical switch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's literally a plug, right? Like a
Right.
plug that you plug in to determine that. So there's a lot of different ways to switch around the different resolutions on the monitor.
So let's say, though, that it is the right setting and everything. Then something is going wrong. He's actually getting some high voltage is leaking or something and getting some kickback and it's shutting off to protect itself.
Right.
Well, then you're going to have to rebuild the monitor and stuff. Maybe some caps. I would still check all the solder joints and everything and make sure that everything is fine. But I would almost bet that it seems like it's probably in the wrong mode. But having said that, it may be time to go ahead and troubleshoot that monitor and do some repair on it if necessary.
Sounds good, Tim. Well, let's go ahead and throw the slide up real quick. We'll talk so we can give Jeffrey a little bit more information here. From your description, Jeffrey, it sounds like there are two main possibilities that could be causing the issue. First, make sure that the monitor is set to the right resolution. Many arcade monitors with VGA ports are tri-sync capable, but must be switched manually to the correct resolution. Look for a switch or a plug to make sure the monitor is in 31 kilohertz VGA mode. That is if that is what the board is putting out. And Tim, I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing, but typically with PCs, 31 kilohertz is what you want.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be high res.
Yeah, exactly. High res, what we consider high res. We got standard res, medium res, high res. So, I mean, typically 31 kilohertz is what you want. Make sure the monitor's set in that mode. Second, it's possible the monitor is going into high voltage shutdown when the VGA cable is plugged in. Check all the solder joints parts along the high voltage line and make sure they are all functioning properly. And like Tim said, that's caps. That's the horizontal output transistor. That's the flyback. That's anything else. There could be resistors and transistors on that line besides the hot as well. So anything along the high voltage line, basically where the plug comes into the game, all the way through to where you get to the flyback, you want to check all those parts in between, make sure everything's working properly. Tim, anything else here before we move on with Jeffrey's?
No, just get back with us, Jeffrey, if you need more help with that. Really knowing what kind of monitor you have would be a lot of help. And just send us some pictures if you can't.
For sure, yeah. You can send us some pictures if you're not sure exactly what kind of monitor. You can also go to the What's My Monitor page on Bob Roberts' site, which we recommend quite a bit, and compare your monitor to the pictures he has, and maybe you can find a match that way as well. But pictures, if you send them to us, we will be able to do it. Tim, we get a lot of pictures about, what's this board? What's this chassis? Somebody I noticed in one of the arcade groups I'm in, like they had a standard picture of a K7000. And they said, I put this into AI, and AI did not know what kind of chassis it is. I looked at it for 2 seconds, and I said, a K7000 monitor. So AI can do a lot of things, but AI apparently cannot recognize a Wells Gardner K7000 series monitor.
Okay.
So there you go.
Not yet.
So if you still need help recognizing those things, please send them over. questions@arcaderepairtips.com, and we'll help you. Okay, Tim, let us go ahead and look over here at the live chat again. Let's see. Jason says, Rangers at Padres tomorrow. That is correct. So, go Rangers. Sorry. So, but the Rangers, Tim, we've been kind of up and down all season.
Up and down.
So very up and down. So we're just, I'm riding the wave, Tim. We're hanging in there by a thread, but we're hanging in there. But Tim, we do have 2 pitchers that are maybe my favorite pitchers ever. One of them is Jacob deGrom, which most people know is probably one of the best pitchers in baseball. And then we also have Nathan Eovaldi, who we could definitely not have made it to the World Series without him. So love both those guys and looking forward to a good series with the Padres tomorrow. So hey, I'd be a Padres fan if I wasn't a Rangers fan. I love the Padres. So I like all the teams that aren't the Yankees or Boston. So no, I take that back. I love Boston. If you're not the Yankees, I'm all for you. So there you go. But Boston's had a tough go of it, of course, Tim. But that's a baseball thing. We'll talk later. Let's see. I have a question maybe you can answer. How can I connect an LVDS to CGA? So this can be a little tricky sometimes. I don't know if they have a board that does that. Okay, so LVDS is kind of like a proprietary style hookup, Tim. And a lot of times that is designed to go to HDMI. So if you're going to go to standard res, you basically have to be able to take that LVDS. And your best bet would be to go to like an RCA style output, like a red, yellow, white kind of style, or just a composite yellow. So if you can get LVDS to composite yellow, and then you could use something like the Gambas board to go from there, that'd probably be pretty good. Sometimes you can find an LVDS to VGA adapter and then adapt it again. Now you got to remember here, though, what are we talking about, Tim? We're talking about multiple converter boards.
Right.
And when you do when you do multiple converter boards, you're probably going to have some delays introduced in there, so the gameplay may not be as smooth as what you want if you're doing all of the conversions there. But unfortunately, I don't think there's anything that goes from LVDS to CGA natively to where you could just hook it up to an arcade monitor. I think you would have to have probably one converter board to go to either HDMI, VGA, or composite, and then another converter board to go from that VGA, HDMI composite to CGA for like your monitor hookup.
Yeah, it's an interesting problem and question.
Right. So you're really.
I can't think of any, and there may be something we're just not aware of.
Yeah, there may be a board somebody's made that would go from LVDS to directly to CGA, but I don't know of that off the top of my head. And so you're gonna have to do a 2 converter board setup, which is not ideal. And then if you've got an emulator on top of that, Tim, you're introducing a lot of variables for lag, unfortunately. Yeah. So not saying it would lag bad. I mean, it'd probably be playable, but just depending, you really want to find some fast ones to do that. But unfortunately, I don't know of anything that goes straight from LVDS to CGA, which would be ideal. But again, the reason you don't see that is because a lot of times with LVDS, you're going from like an emulated board or something like that. It's a newer style connection. And so you got to go back to something older because there's nothing that's going to do that natively as far as we know. So,
right.
Does that answer it?
That's good. Good answer.
Let's see. Okay. Chris says, last time I saw you live, you told me about changing the batteries to an NV RAM chip in my Monopoly pinball. I did it and it worked perfectly. Thank you so much. Yes, Chris, awesome. I remember. I need to do that to my Monopoly, actually. Unfortunately, Tim, as Tim can see, it's covered up with stuff right now. I need to clear it out, and I took the batteries out of it completely, which keeps it from leaking, but also doesn't hold any of my settings, right? And so I need to get an NVRAM for mine as well. So, but I'm glad. It should have been easy install, Chris, and it sounds like you got it working. I'm so glad. Super easy to do and worth every penny because it keeps you from having to replace batteries or worry about battery leakage. Monopoly came with double A's, Tim, which, obviously were really bad about leaking, and so definitely worth.
Well, it's kind of like I just changed out my sprinkler system.
Yeah.
Okay, because I had a 2001 version in there that took batteries and stuff, and they were always getting corroded and stuff in there, and now it wouldn't hold the settings. So every time the power would go out, I would go and my lawn sprinkler would say it was 1996.
Oh, goodness.
And I would have to do that. So, I put a new one, I had the lithium battery in there. I was like, yes, I know what this is. So that was actually not too hard. That's funny, though. Because my wife, sometimes, she knows I fix games and stuff, but I think she worries about me other times. She's like, are you sure you can hook us up? And I'm like, I built a game from scratch, and I can do this. It's just the wires and stuff. Anyway, I think she was kind of impressed at how quickly I did it and everything. I'm like, see, when you learn how to repair games, you can do a lot of stuff.
That's true.
I just don't let her know I can do it all.
So I've got mine is actually like a dial system, Tim, my sprinkler system. So I have like dials.
That's the way mine was.
But the dial one doesn't require battery. That's the good thing. It's but when the power goes out, the time gets off. I just have to set the time back.
That's what my time is off.
Right.
And the day's off. And everything, all my settings are gone, so not anymore. I can do it on my app on my phone now.
That's nice. I have to do something like that.
It's not bad.
Tim, Peter just donated $10 to us through the super chat.
Oh, thank you,
Peter. So much, Peter. He says, thank you guys for all the info. Happy 4th. Happy 4th to you as well. Thank you so much for the donation. It is so welcome. And guys, we appreciate all the donations we get around here. If you'd like to donate, you can hit the super chat button there in the live chat if you're watching us live, or you can donate anytime by going to arcaderepairtips.com/donate, and you can donate through our PayPal portal that way.
Okay.
So if you ever want to make a donation to us, we appreciate all donations. Tim, we don't really make any money here, as we've talked about. In fact, we probably lose money. But dinner's expensive. Yeah. But anyway, it is worth it. Peter just bought us, pizza next month, so or something equivalent to that. So we appreciate it, Peter. It means a lot to us when you guys make donations, and just thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, guys. I think we're caught up on the live chat, Tim.
Okay, back to the show.
Yes, let us continue on here with our next question from Rob. And Rob writes, I have an original Golden Tee 2K game, arcade game. It is a full size and in good shape, but I need to figure out how to adjust the monitor for better clarity. I would also like to know how to clean the glass inside and out. Can you help me? So, Tim, Rob's question is where we get the title for tonight's episode, Adjustments for Better Clarity.
Okay.
So that is what we're calling it tonight. And actually, I had a better title. We'll get to that here in a second. Okay. But I'd already made this one, so we stuck with it. But anyway, Adjustments for Better Clarity, Tim. We have Rob, who has a Golden Tee 2K, and he's saying it's a little on the blurry side. He needs it to be a little bit more clear. And then he needs to know how he can clean the glass inside and out. And Tim, I assume he's talking about the bezel glass.
Right.
And so what can Rob do in order to make his monitor a little bit more clear and to clean that monitor glass, make it nice and shiny?
Well, I'm assuming that he saw some adjustments on his monitor
Sure.
or his remote board.
Yeah.
And he probably tried everything, but it's still not coming in very good.
Right.
You got to remember that on the flyback itself, there are two adjustments. One is for brightness, and the other one will focus in like that. A lot of people don't realize there's two small pots on most flybacks like that. That will help you. We do have a video on adjusting an arcade monitor that may help. He could have just totally not know any of the knobs. So, but there's knobs in there that help you to adjust and dial that in. As for cleaning the glass, most of the time you're going to have to move the control panel either forward or out of the way because it's in there blocking the glass, can't come out. It's made so it won't fall out like that. So I'm trying to remember the original Golden Tee. I think it had latches and stuff. You reach up through the corn door.
I don't know if I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen the original.
Every been so many kits.
Yeah, I was about to say Golden Tee 4 is about the only time I remember. Like 4 and up is where I started to see dedicated cabinets. I think everything before 4 may have been kits for the most part.
Right. So it may be, and I know you'll show a slide on that, and we also have a video on that shows how to do what we're talking about. It may be that you need to send us a picture of your particular game, and maybe we can help a little bit more because there is some different ones. I've seen everything from latches to slides. So I've seen some that were literally just screwed down. You had to take the whole panel off.
Yep.
So it kind of depends, but hopefully our slides and pictures that we're fixing to show will help you some.
Absolutely, Tim. So let me throw that up here real quick. So like Tim mentioned on the clarity issue, try adjusting the focus potentiometer located on the flyback on your Mondi chassis. Like Tim mentioned, like it's not on the breakout board. A lot of people think, oh, I tried all the adjustments on the breakout board and I didn't find the clarity one or the focus one. That's because it's not there. You're going to find it usually on your flyback. So check your flyback for the focus adjustment, see if that helps. And you can see our posted video on adjusting an arcade monitor for more information on that. As for cleaning the glass, it's common for arcade cabinets for the glass to be held on by the control panel. Try unlatching the control panel through the coin door and see if it allows you to access the monitor glass/bezel. Check out our post on opening an arcade cabinet for information. Like Tim mentioned, it may not be latched down, it may be screwed down, or it may be bolted down, or it may be attached some other way to the cabinet. But in almost every cabinet that I recall seeing, that bezel monitor glass is going to be held on by the control panel in some form or fashion. And so it's just a matter of removing the control panel or pulling up the top of the control panel and in order to gain access to the glass. Tim, anything else for Rob before we move on?
No, I have seen some with wood strips down the side that was holding it in.
Yep.
We really need a picture. If you can send us a picture, we can help you a little bit more with that.
I'm looking at all the cabinets I have around here, and they're all control panel based to access.
Yes.
Every single one of these. I don't know, but again, like Tim mentioned, we've seen a lot of different cabinets. Very possible it could be something else. So send us some pictures if you're having problems, Rob. Let us know, and we'll help you out further. Okay, Tim, I think we're still caught up on the live chat, and want to thank Peter again for that great donation. That's awesome. You guys are awesome. And, like I said, hey, Tim, maybe you can spin that on, you can get you some potato salad for your 4th of July party or something like that you're talking about there.
Get a big tub of it for $10.
Oh, for sure, man. Get the family size, right?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. So we're going on vacation somewhere pretty soon. I was looking at the grocery prices there versus here, and it was a lot more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So it depends on where you're going on vacation, too. Or here, I feel like things are a little cheaper here sometimes than they are in other parts of the country.
We don't pay tax on groceries either.
That's true, exactly. Now, we do on some groceries, not on all.
Yeah.
So on the base stuff we don't, but obviously chips and things like that. But it's very interesting, Tim. Things you don't think about. But anyway, let us move on with our next question from Murphy, Tim. And this involves one of your favorite games, Tim. Pole position. Pole position. So here we go. Hey guys, wondering if I could get some advice. I have a pole position that has the cars and signs and 2 vertical lines, but gameplay is good. And Tim, we have a picture here. So if you're not watching this, on the YouTube page, then you're listening to this, you may want to check out the picture here.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I reheated the the 74 LS161 chips at 9H and 10H. Could it be the custom ROMs? Thanks. So Tim, you can see how you can see just the smattering of lines there for the cars and for the signs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he did something that was kind of good troubleshooting wise. He did reheat the 74 LS161 chips at 9H and 10H, which are some of those chips that I think are a part of that. But You know, though, Tim, I don't think 9H and 10H, I don't think are actually a part of the video.
Right.
I think he was actually looking at a different part of the board, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And so those may not have been actually the ones that you need to look at. Now, Tim, before we get started, I want to say that the manual for pole position is amazing because it's one of those early Atari games that, where people knew nothing about game repair and they had to put everything in the manual. And so go to the manual for pole position and it tells you a lot about the game. Tim, we have that link down below so you can go directly to it. So let me just include that before you say anything.
Okay.
But what are some different things that you can tell Murphy here in order to get this pole position going?
Well, I think he's on the right track. I think that it's probably more of an EEPROM, right?
Could be.
There's just some bright issues.
Yeah. Or again, RAM. It really depends. It's hard because you just never know if it's having the problem loading the sprites or is having the problem processing the sprite. Right. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
So definitely we're going to recommend that you check the voltage and make sure the voltage, again, like we talked about earlier, is correct.
Right.
If your voltage is dialed in, we know we got a bad chip somewhere. I don't remember, pole position doesn't have like a test menu for those chips. So that comes later, right? But
it does list all the chips that you need to check.
That's right.
In the manual.
So that's what we're going to show you is the manual said to check these chips.
Now, something else, Tim, that you may remember is how picky pole position is about power.
Yes.
They're super picky about power. So a lot of times, Tim, we turn that up a little bit higher, correct?
A little bit, if we can, just a little bit. Also, it's super hot in that cabinet. I've always recommended putting extra fans, getting it as cool as you can in there, and the ribbon and any ribbon cables and stuff can make a big difference.
For sure. So Tim, let us go ahead and put this up on the screen so we can talk a little bit more about Murphy's issue here. So the way that the game is missing the sprites makes us think that this problem is maybe with some bad components on the game board. Now, just like we talked about earlier, Tim, first off, check the voltage is correct from the power supply. Make sure you may turn it up to 5.1 on the 5 volts line. And the reason why is because, again, it's a lot more picky than some games about voltage. And so turning it up just a little bit higher may be a really good idea. And so try that and see if you get a little bit different result from that. Now, if you try that and the voltage is correct, then it's time to check those components. Now, in the manual, you'll see this little table, which I think says 2.1 there, Tim. It says locating failed components on the video PCB, and it has a thing that says all cars and signs.
There you go.
Okay. And so all I did here was list what is from the manual here, Tim. According to the manual, you need to check the proms at 11N, 12K, 12L, 12N, 12H, 13K, 13L, and 13N. The custom IC chips, which you mentioned, the custom chips, Tim. You do need to check the ones at 12J, 13J, and 13H. And the RAM at 9F and 10F. And the reason I underline that, Tim, is because that's what I would do first.
Okay.
I would check the RAM. And the reason why is because we've seen a lot of these cars and sign issues where it's hand in hand like this. Tim, if we had a PROM issue, I feel like we'd have a problem with one or the other.
Right.
But those RAM chips drive the signs and the cars.
Okay.
And so because you're having a problem with both, I think that you probably need to check the RAM first to make sure that is functioning properly. Tim, you can check the voltage on those RAM chips. You can get a logic probe and make sure that the logic is correct on those chips. You check your TTNL cookbook. You can see what the logic's supposed to be on there. Make sure that the pins that are high, the pins that are low are supposed to be low, and that everything's operating properly. And so, but 9F, 10F are the two RAM chips you need to check. So check those first. Then I would go to the PROMs. And last, I would go to the custom IC chips. Because if it's a custom IC chip, it's a little bit hard to get a hold of anyway. And so it may be a longer repair from there. And like we said here, reset the chips, Tim, so you can pull them up, put them back down right if they're socketed, or you can replace them as needed. Tim, anything else here for Murphy before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Again, this is from, pole position is from an era when the manual was amazing. And they put all the information in there. You know, later on, Tim, we get manuals that basically just have the dip switch settings.
Right.
Or whatever. But the early Atari games like this have so much documentation. And they're really well done for beginners who may not know as much about games. And so, you know, if you're not familiar with the Atari book, Tim, then you need to get familiar with that as well. We have a link to that on our website under recommended books for arcade repair. So you should definitely check out that post and get you a copy of the book or download a copy of the book because the book has all sorts of information about repair. But the pole position manual should give you the information you need to get this solved. So, Murphy, hopefully answers your question, and good luck getting that pole position back up and running. Tim, obviously you've had how many pole positions? At least 2?
At least a couple.
Yeah,
2?
at least 2, 3?
3.
At least 3.
3 that I remember.
Yeah, we had a pole position too, right?
Yeah,
at one
the
point
set
too.
down.
Yeah, so there we go. But good game, but man, it's a bugger to keep working sometimes. So
get working, keep working.
Absolutely. So Joe says, I have a love-hate relationship with pole position, 80% hate, frustration, 20% I love that game. That's about everybody who has one. Now, there's a lot of bulletproofing you can do, Tim. We talked about sense mods and things like this. There's a little bit of bulletproofing you can do to keep it running well. But it doesn't take much for that game to go haywire. A little power surge, or like Tim said, like too much heat in the
Every
cabinet.
time we ever had a party, it would go out.
Yeah,
right before the party.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of it's a love-hate relationship with pole positions. Typically, the reliability is somewhat suspect, but there are some things you can do to bulletproof them a little bit more. Chris says, I've lifted my pinball playfield many times and never removed the pinballs. I recently saw several videos where it was instructed to do so. Why is this important? Mainly for cleaning.
Yeah.
Because if your pinballs get dirty, or if you have a dirty playfield, the pinballs can track the dirt around the playfield and make it dirtier. And so you want to make sure you clean your balls. Isn't that what you always say, Tim?
We got to clean your balls.
Clean your balls and your rubbers. Make sure you got your good rubbers on there, too. So that's very important things.
That is exactly why, though. The ball will spread it. Every time it hits that, it spreads it. So if you don't take them out periodically and clean them, clean your playfield, it's going to keep making a worse mess.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's like having muddy shoes. It's like having muddy shoes, Tim, and walking through your house, right?
Exactly.
It attracts all that mud into your house, same kind of thing. You got dirty pinballs, and then you're shooting them up the playfield. It's just getting dirt. It's just spraying that dirt all over the playfield, and it just makes for a dirty playfield that you're going to have to just clean more. So if you can keep your pinballs clean, it does help with the cleanliness of the game as a whole. Is that a good way to say it? There we go. So, okay. Peter says that $10 was not enough for the Omaha steaks. That's okay, Peter. That's okay. Okay. Now, if you want to donate more so I can get 10 Omaha steaks in December, I will. But no, that's okay. Now, it's like, you buy a package, though, Tim. Sometimes it comes with free burgers and free stuff. So I used to get a turkey from my company every year.
Oh, wow.
And turkeys are good, but turkeys only last, like, what, a month or a week? I don't know. It only lasts as long as we used to get a Greenberg.
Right.
Right? Because Greenberg turkeys are from Tyler. If you've never had a Greenberg turkey, it's good. And you can keep them. If you refrigerate them, they keep well. You can eat off of them for a while, but not as long as Omaha steaks. You can just throw those things in the freezer and eat them when you want. So, good stuff. Tim, have you ever done Omaha steaks?
I have not.
Okay, you should do it. You maybe sometime. It's not bad because you kind of always have it ready. So if you need if you want some steaks, you just pull them out, let them thaw. Sometimes you don't even have to let them thaw. You can cook them like just as they are, just depending. So
nice.
Depends on what you get. So.
Okay.
Okay, are we caught up?
We're caught up.
I think we are. And well, this is our last question here, Tim, for this month.
Okay.
And it is from Brian. So let's get to Brian's question real quick. Hi, I've got a Miss Pac-Man cocktail table. I just got a new PCB board. When I boot it up, it comes up to a memory screen. Like, replay off, bonus 10,000. The problem is I can't get it to go into the game screen. I didn't know if there was a quick fix or switch or something. If you could let me know how to fix it, that would be great. Thanks. Okay. So, Tim, Brian's got a Miss Pac-Man cocktail and is stuck on that test mode, service mode screen. And I think we've seen it before, Tim. It's pretty common. It just basically says memory okay and a couple other things on it. And so with that in mind, Tim, like what can Brian do in order to get this screen to go away and actually get gameplay? It
sounds like the test switch is set in the on position.
Right.
And so he needs to turn off the game, turn off the test switch, which is usually right inside above the coin door.
Right.
And just flick it the opposite direction and then start the game up again and you should be okay. If the board continues to boot into it, then you have a board issue that's causing that.
There you go. Pretty simple. There we go.
Pretty
simple. Now, Tim, usually that toggle switch can sometimes go like this. Sometimes it's a side-to-side switch.
Side-to-side, that's right.
And it depends on, there's different versions of like what's in there. But it usually is a toggle switch, which means it has a on and off style position. It's not like a push button. It's a on or off. And so you just need to make sure that you have that test mode switch in the off position. And as long as you do that, it should be good. But, Tim, you could also just try cutting the wires going to the switch, and that should do it as well.
Sure.
So, like, if you turn off the switch and it's still going into test mode, you might try that. So, Tim, let me go ahead and throw the slide up here so we can talk about it. So, being stuck on the screen with the dip switch info would usually be caused by the test switch being in the on position when the board boots up. try turning off the game, resetting the test switch to the off position, and powering it back on to see if the game boots up. You can also try disconnecting the test switch entirely. Like Tim mentioned, this is a toggle switch that's usually on the inside of your coin door, so you will need access to the coin door in order to get to that test mode switch. If the board continues to boot into test screen and the test switch is turned off and disconnected, you could have a board issue. You can check the parts at location C19, which is a cap that's very common. If that cap goes bad, Tim, that it can cause this. Resistors R6 and R7, and the chips at 7H, 8E, 8F, 8H, and 9C. If you check all of those, then hopefully between all that, you can get it working. And Tim, all that happens is when those parts malfunction, basically, they complete the circuit for the test mode.
Right.
So that's why you need to just check those and make sure that that is not the case. So anything else for Brian here before we move on, Tim?
I don't think so. Sounds
good. So Brian hopefully answers your question. And good luck getting your Miss Pac-Man cocktail out of the test mode, Tim. So, I was trying to think of what I was going to name the episode. It was something with pole position. Lines with switches and signs.
Okay.
Would that have been good?
I think so.
Lines with switches or lines with cars and signs.
Okay.
Lines with cars and signs. I thought about that, and it rhymed, but just for better clarity, Tim, 1 out. So, lines for cars and signs still sounds good, though. So, there we go. Now, Tim, as we have been doing the last, 4 or 5 months.
Game time.
It's quiz time. So we are going to be doing a quiz, Tim, and I have not revealed what this quiz is going to be about because I didn't want anybody studying. I want people to be able to do this off the fly, Tim. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring up our quiz, and then we will get ready. Now, for you guys who haven't been here, when we do the quiz, basically you will go to play.triviamaker.com, right? Isn't that what
Do you have the code going to come
up? The code's going to come up too. There'll be a QR code, or if you go, I think, to play.triviamaker.com, you can type in the code and enter the game that way. You can play with Tim. Tim will be playing tonight again, right?
I think so.
And Tim has not won a quiz yet.
I have not.
So you guys have always beaten him. So there you go. So I'll play a song, and you have until the song is over to enter the quiz, but you can play along with Tim and have fun. So Tim, you ready to hear the topic?
I'm ready.
The topic for tonight's quiz is Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
It's a Pac-Man quiz.
Okay.
Pac-Man trivia. Okay, that is tonight's.
Okay.
So
just
with
Pac-Man.
that in mind, here is the code. So again, you can go to play.triviamaker.com and enter the code 745455. Or you can scan the QR code there, and it'll take you straight into the Trivia Maker, and you can enter the code from there. So we're going to give everybody about 2 or 3 minutes to get into the game for those of you guys who want to play. Now, I don't know if we'll be giving away a prize tonight, but we did give a prize away last month, and that was to General Strife. And Tim, would you like to see what he won? I want to take it off real quick just so everybody can see. This was General Strife's prize package, Tim. He got a My Arcade Karate Champ Mini Arcade, a Pac-Man licensed soap on a rope, and a Hacko CHP 170 Microsoft wire cutter, as we know the nippy cutters, Tim. A prize package worth about $50. And so I don't know if we'll be giving away prizes tonight, Tim, but I'm just saying you may want to enter. Okay. So there we go. So again, if you want to enter, play.triviamaker.com and go and enter the code 745455. And Tim, I'm going to play the theme song while we're waiting for everybody to join, okay?
Okay.
So let me play that theme song.
Lights are flashing, ghosts on the run. Power pellets popping just for fun. Arcade buzz and the joystick sway. Pac-Man trivia starts today. Maze of questions twist and turn. Jumping answers is how you learn. High score dreams and a yellow glow. Episode 101, let's start the show. Chasing the dots through the trivia maze. Retro vibes light up the craze. Power up your brain, it's time to play. Pac-Man questions all the way. Lips and bloops fill the air tonight. got the smarts to unlock. Waka waka through the quiz we go. Every right answer makes the knowledge grow. Pinky, pinky, inky, Clyde, they can't stop you with your Pac-Man pride. Chasing the dots through the trivia maze. Retro vibes light up the craze. Power up your brainy, it's time to play. Pac-Man questions all the way.
Okay, we got 7 so far. Anybody else going to join us? Play.triviamaker.com. Enter code 745455 to play with Tim tonight. Tim, you got some serious competition in here tonight.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, we got Regular Show is in here, Alan's here, Joe's here, Nate's here, Chris is here, and Mike. Okay, this is your last chance if you want to get in. I'm going to give everybody like 10 more seconds here. Okay, just, if you haven't entered yet, we're about to start this thing. So now, Tim, how would you rate your Pac-Man knowledge on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being the highest.
I would like to say it's pretty good, but then again...
Oh, Sam's in. You got one more.
I'm just going to say... but I'm not going to act too cocky. I want to say around a 7.
A 7?
I might know a lot about working on them, but what kind of trivia? It could be some rare stuff.
It's about the game mostly.
The game.
About the gameplay.
We'll see.
Okay, and it is reserved pretty much just for Pac-Man and not Miss Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man, all that kind of stuff. Now, for those of you guys who may be playing for the first time, here's how it works. You get more points the faster you buzz in, right, Tim?
Right.
So the faster that you can get the correct answer, the more points you're going to get. And if you and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
Yep.
Simple. Okay. There may be a delay between the YouTube video and the quiz. Tim, we always follow the quiz, right? Yeah. Always follow your device that you have the questions on. Do not always follow YouTube video. YouTube video may be running a bit behind what the quiz is. So just to keep in mind, watch your screen, not the YouTube video for the questions. Okay. So watch your play screen, not the YouTube video. Well, Tim, I think 8 is going to be the number.
Let's go.
Let's do this thing. Here we go. Pac-Man Trivia 101. Here we go, Tim. Pac-Man Quiz, episode 101. Question number 1, Tim. What is the nickname of the orange ghost in Pac-Man? What is the name of the orange ghost in Pac-Man? Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go! And the answers are Inky, Pinky, Clyde, and Blinky. Which one is the orange ghost in Pac-Man? Inky, Pinky, Clyde, or Blinky?
I'm going to be embarrassed on this.
Okay, we got 2 more left. 2 more left to answer here, Tim. We got, 1 more left. We got like 3 seconds to 1. And the answer, Clyde. Clyde is correct. And Tim, you got that right.
I did get it right.
Congratulations. Okay, so let us move on. Let's see who all got that right, Tim. Okay, coming over. Oh, boom. And Tim is in the lead. It's amazing. Nate got it right as well. Mike got it right. Alan got it right. And the rest of you guys need to brush up on your Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Right? Just a little bit. Is that your noise? Yeah. So there we go. So Tim is in the lead with 87 points. Nate in second with 60. Mike with 60. It's still anybody's game. We got 9 more questions, Tim. So don't get cocky on it for sure. Not. So there we go. Let us move on to our next question. What happens when Pac-Man eats a power pellet? What happens when Pac-Man eats a power pellet, Tim? Are you ready? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Go! Here we go. And the answers are, he moves faster, the ghost turned blue and can be eaten, the maze resets, or he grows larger. What happens when Pac-Man eats a power pellet? He moves faster, the ghost turned blue. Oh, man, I guess everybody just chimed that one in. Tim, let's see who all got that right. Okay, everybody's on the board now, Tim.
Oh, but look how fast Alan was.
Oh, I'm telling you. Okay, so, Tim, you are still in the lead by 1 point. Alan is nipping at your heels, literally, with 133 points. Nate is next. Nate and Mike are tied with 127. So, again, still anybody's game, Tim. It looks like everybody got that one right.
Okay.
Very nice, guys. That's what I'm talking about, Tim. Okay, well, that one was kind of easy. Maybe
Yeah,
there'll be a
okay.
tougher one next. Let's see. Here we go. What happens on level 256 of the original Pac-Man game? Okay, what happens on level 256 of the original Pac-Man game? Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. Pac-Man moves twice as fast. The game ends with a victory screen. The screen becomes glitched and unplayable, or the ghosts become invincible. What happens on level 256 of the original Pac-Man game? And the answer, the screen becomes glitched and unplayable. That is correct, Tim. So, okay, let's see who all got this right. Tim is out of the lead. Alan has taken the lead with 220 points. Tim is now in second with 217, still on his heels. Nate is in third with 207 by himself, taking that third place from Mike, who has 197. So, guys, you guys are playing great. Still anybody's game. Even Chris down there at the bottom, man, you still have a lot of time, man. You can still get back in this thing, I promise, okay? As you know, Tim. Now, Digital Jazz Arcade says they are ghosts. They are not ghosts. They are monsters. I took this quiz from another thing. So, I mean, if it says ghost, I'm sorry. So, it is what it is. But anyway, here we go, Tim. Let us move on to our next question. What shape inspired the design of Pac-Man? What shape inspired the design of Pac-Man? Are we ready?
Ready.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go! The answers are a circle, a moon, a smiley face, or a pizza with a missing slice. What shape inspired the design of Pac-Man? A circle, a moon, a smiley face, or a pizza with a missing slice? We're running low on time. 3, 2, 1, and the answer, a pizza with a missing slice. Tim, let's see who all got that one right. Oh, Tim is back in the lead with 304 points. Alan still nipping right at him at 300. Joe with 220, Nate with 207, Mike with 197, Regzer Show with 193. Tim, this is close. Golly, this may be closer than any of the quizzes we've had so far. And Sam and Chris, I think, are still at the bottom there. Guys, you are still in this, I promise. Okay, you can easily come back. Okay.
Yeah, I'm liable to start blowing it any time.
Exactly. So here we go, guys. Going on to our next question. What year was Pac-Man first released, Tim? Do I need to cover up the copyright on this thing
No,
in here?
I'm not looking.
What year was Pac-Man first released? Okay, now these are going to all be close to each other, warning up front. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go! The years are 1982, 1984, 1980, and 1978. What year was Pac-Man first released? 1982, 1984, 1980, or 1978? We got about 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and done. Tim, the answer, 1980. And I heard Tim got it right. I can hear your tablet there. That is correct. Now, the copyright on that one, I think, well, that's Miss Pac-Man, but I forgot, we have Miss Pac-Man over here. Pac-Man is over there. So, so that means that you got it right, Tim, which means you're probably still in the lead. Let's see. Oh, 391, Tim. Alan right behind you with 380. Regzer Show, 286. Joe with 220. Guys, this is super close still. Nate, 207. Sam, 203. Mike with 197. And Chris still on the bottom with 53. Again, still anybody's game, guys. We can still win this thing. Okay, you just need to get those buzzers ready. Get ready to buzz in whenever you see it on your screen. GTA 5 best moments in 1978 first, and then came back with 1980. 1980 is the correct answer, right? Okay. 1980 is the correct answer. You haven't missed one yet, right?
Well, I remember. Not yet.
Okay, look at this.
It
Going
can
for a
definitely
streak.
fall apart.
Okay, okay, here we go. Next question, everybody. What was Pac-Man's original name in Japan? Now, Tim, I'm pretty sure knows this. Hopefully you do too. What was Pac-Man's original name in Japan? And I bet Tim can even tell us why they changed it.
Yes.
Okay, but here we go. Here we go, guys. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and go! Was it Dotman, Puckman, Ghost Chaser, or Mouthman? Which one was Pac-Man's original name in Japan? Dotman, Puckman, Ghost Chaser, or Mouthman? Answer if you can. We got about 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second left, and the answer, Puckman. Tim, got that right?
Gotta get that.
Tim, why did they change it from Puckman to Pac-Man?
Because people were taking and making an F out of the puck.
Exactly, and so, you got to be careful with that. Let's see our rankings. Okay, Tim's still in the lead with 484. Alan's still very close behind with 473. Regular Show 373. Joe with 293. Mike with 284. Sam right behind him, 283. 260 for Nate. And then Chris still on the bottom with 53. Sorry, Chris. You may be starting to... The rest of the pack might be leaving you behind a little bit here. So, but everybody else very much still in it. So let us continue on to our next question. What is the maximum score possible in the original Pac-Man game? What is the maximum score possible in the original Pac-Man game? A little tricky, Tim. Okay, let's see if you can get it. Here we go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and go. Here we go, guys. Is it 10,000 or 10 million? Okay, 3,333,360, 1 million, or 999,999. What is the maximum score possible in the original Pac-Man game? 10 million, 1 million, 3,333,360, or 99,999. Okay, 3,333,360, Tim, is the correct answer. Okay, let's see who all got that one. Tim, you lost the lead.
Uh-oh.
Alan got that one right. Alan is now in first place with 560 points. Tim is in second with 484. Rexer Show with 446. Sam 370. Joe 366. Nate 333. Mike with 284.
See, I never got that high, so I wouldn't know.
3,033,360. That is like if you eat every
That's
key,
a perfect
get every
game.
ghost.
Okay.
Exactly. That is a perfect Pac-Man game. So there we go. Next question, Tim. Maybe you can take the lead back. We'll see.
All right.
Which ghost is the most persistent and aggressive in pursuing Pac-Man? Which ghost is the most persistent and aggressive in pursuing Pac-Man? Got it, Tim?
Yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go. Is it Pinky, Blinky, Inky, or Clyde? Which ghost is the most persistent and aggressive in pursuing Pac-Man? Pinky, Blinky, Inky, and Clyde. Of course, Tim, they are the 4 ghosts. So if you know, you know, right?
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. But Pinky, Blinky, Inky, and Clyde, which ghost is the most persistent and aggressive in pursuing Pac-Man? Okay, get your answers in. We've got about 5 seconds on this one. This one, I don't know. The timer seems a little longer. Who knows? But which ghost is it? We're about to find out. About 3, 2, 1. And the answer is Blinky. Oh, you missed it.
I missed it.
Blinky is the correct answer, Tim. Blinky. Okay, let's see who all got that.
Off. Way down.
Oh, Rexer Show now passed you, Tim. He knew that one. You're now in third place. Alan's still in first. Sam in fourth. Mike in fifth. Joe in sixth. Nate Berg in second. And Chris still in eighth there. So, I got all my numbers mixed up, but you got the idea. So, Alan in first, Rexer Show second, Tim in third, Sam in fourth, Mike in fifth, Joe in sixth, Nate in second, Chris in eighth. Okay, Tim, we're running low on questions. You got to pick this up if you're going to get this, okay? What is the primary goal of Pac-Man in the game? What is the primary goal of Pac-Man in the game? So, like, what is the whole goal of the whole game? That's what we're asking here. Let's go ahead and put those answers up there. 3, 2, 1, go. So what's the goal of Pac-Man in the game? Is it to escape the maze, to defeat the ghost, to collect the fruit, or to eat all the dots in the maze? What is the primary goal of Pac-Man in the game? To escape the maze, to defeat the ghost, to collect the fruit, or to eat all the dots in the maze?
Quick.
You answered too quick. Oh, no. And the answer, of course, to eat all the dots in the maze. That is correct, Tim.
I saw the word maze and hit it.
Oh,
so I'm trying to go for the speed.
Oh, you're dropping out fast, Tim. But Alan has now taken a commanding lead with 730 points in first place. Rexer Show with 543 in second. Sam with 514 in third. Tim now at 44 in fourth. Mike 440 in fifth. Nate 406 in sixth. Joe 366 in seventh. And Chris still down in eighth place. So, Rexer Show. Oh, you can't change your answer if you click the wrong answer.
No,
that is correct.
You cannot.
You cannot change your answer.
I knew it as soon as I hit it.
Yes, so as soon as you hit it, that's it.
I was going for speed.
That's right. You have one lock in and one lock in only. This is not a final answer. We're not going to ask you about that. It is your final answer when you do it. Yeah, he said I tried to change the answer and I can't do it. That is correct. Sorry, Rexer Show. So you're still in second place, though. Still in good shape. Let us continue on, Tim. Here we go. Who is the creator of Pac-Man? Very straightforward, Tim. Okay, we're looking for a name. Who is the creator of Pac-Man? And Tim, this is going to test my Japanese.
Yeah.
Because they're all Japanese names.
Oh, great. I'm going to say I'm going to pick the Japanese game.
They're all Japanese.
Wow.
So, who is the creator of Pac-Man? Here we go, Tim. 3, 2, 1, go! So is the creator of Pac-Man Hideo Kojima? Is it Toru Iwatani? Is it Shigeru Miyamoto or is it Yu Suzuki? Who is the creator of Pac-Man? Hideo Kojima, Toru Iwatani, Shigeru Miyamoto, or Yu Suzuki? Hopefully I'm doing that right. Toru Iwatani is correct, and Tim, you got it right. Look at that, even with all those Japanese names up there, you got it. So, Hideo Kojima, of course, Tim, Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto, Mario.
Okay.
And then
That's
Yu
what I thought.
Suzuki, several Sega platform games,
Okay.
right?
I didn't know all that. I
yes.
just knew it was Awatani.
So there we go, guys. So let's see how we're doing now. Alan wins! Alan, Tim, you are the runner-up with 564 points.
Wow.
Second place.
Did Alan miss any?
Hang on a second. Let me mute this real quick. Okay. You guys can now hear us? No. Oh, hang on. Where is that? It's it doesn't let me mute it. Wait. Okay, Alan, congratulations, you won. So, Alan, if you will send an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com saying, hey, I won the quiz and can you send me a prize? I'll send you something. It may not be as good as General Strife. That was the 100th episode package, but we'll send you something. So, Alan, send an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com and we'll send you something good. Alan got every single question right.
That's what I was thinking.
Every single question right. So you could not miss one if you want to keep pace with Alan. And Tim, I mean, he beat you by 200 plus points. So I mean, that's
close.
Yeah, exactly. Now you put up a respectable second place.
Okay.
Very respectable second place.
Start.
Is that your best finish so far?
I think so.
I think so too. I was thinking the same thing. So but Alan, congratulations. Send an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com and I'll send out some sort of prize to you. And congratulations on winning the Pac-Man quiz for episode 101.
Yay, Alan.
Yay! Oh, hang on. I've got my applause. Hang on. There we go. I put a little heart on the screen. There we go. So, what else do I have here? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
High five.
High fives. What else do I got? I don't know. Oh, claps. There we go. I got all that kind of stuff. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for participating. I hope you had fun with it. Alan says, thanks. I got the signed quarter arcade cabinet a few years ago. Oh, there you go. He's gotten a prize from us before, Tim.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So we've got some cool stuff. I'll send you something from the big prize box of stuff that we have. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll send you something. Send an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com and I'll ship it out. So General Strife won the knowledge of Arcade Repair Tips. That's why you got the big stuff. We'll send you out something though, Alan. I promise. So good stuff. Hopefully y'all had fun. Tim, you had fun?
Right. Yeah, that was a good fun trivia.
It definitely was, and it was something that I think a lot of us as arcade people probably know a lot about Pac-Man.
Sure.
So it is what it is. Joe says 4th place, and I really hate Pac-Man. Lots of fun, guys. There you go. If you really hate Pac-Man, you got 4th place. That's impressive, Joe. That's what I would say.
Good,
so that's really good. So I was about to say, I thought most of those questions were pretty fair for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were a little tricky, like the maximum score.
Yeah.
I think it was a little on the tricky side. Not as tricky as last month. Golly, those were super hard.
Yeah, those were hard.
Even Tim was in every video, and he didn't know. In every podcast,
right.
he didn't know all of them. So, yeah. So, great stuff. Thanks for participating, guys. Always a lot of fun to do that. So, and Alan, again, questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Send us an email. We'll send you a prize out soon. I need a shipping address in that email, by the way. Shipping address. Okay. Okay, Tim, I guess it's time to catch up on some news, huh?
Yeah.
So these were the stories that got the most traction on our social media pages over the last month, Tim. And the first one is about a new home arcade company, Tim. Basic Fun goes big with home arcade. Basic Fun is expanding its arcade classics lineup from handheld devices into home arcade tabletop and stand-up cabinets, priced between $180 and $600, that faithfully recreate classic arcade games like Centipede, Tempest, and the big one that seems to be everybody's favorite, WWE WrestleFest. And it's going to be available in the fall of this year. And Tim, that article has all the information on these new ones. So Basic Fun makes a lot of the mini arcades, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mini ones that you would get. In fact, I probably have some of these up here that I have are probably some of the Basic Fun ones. And so, Tim, what they're doing is they're basically just making them bigger. And, more along the lines of what we would get with
Arcade 1-Up.
With Arcade 1-Up, correct.
Okay.
So there we go. So something closer to an Arcade 1-Up style. And so, I think it's good to have a little competition for Arcade 1-Up. They've kind of owned the space for a long time. I know that At Games has also been kind of in that space as well. So, I mean, it's always good to see more competition come in a space. I think it's better for the consumer. It gives you a lot more selection. And hopefully that'll be, the pricing will be more competitive as well. and
sure.
so looking forward to that. Tim, I know that WrestleFest was probably the big announcement here. Have you ever played WrestleFest? Are you a big fan of WrestleFest?
I played it plenty of times. In fact, I'm going to be working on one pretty soon. A guy that Mike is selling pinball game to says he's going to trade or bring a WrestleFest. He wants to fix it.
There you go. So it sounds good to me. Tim, when I was growing up, where my dad worked, Tim knows where my dad works. In his office, they had a break room, and the break room actually had a WrestleFest in it.
I remember that.
And so that's where I first remember playing WrestleFest. So good stuff. It was fun then, even though I wasn't a wrestling fan, and it's even more fun when you are a wrestling fan. So good stuff there. Tim, I want to go back to the quiz for a second. Joe says, I was looking for the most aggressive ghost, the red one. Exactly. That you were looking for the red one, but what is the red one's name, right? What's his nickname? What's his nickname, right? Because remember, they have a name and a nickname.
I knew it was the red one, but I got his name wrong.
Right, exactly. Everybody knew it was the red one.
Right.
Blinky is the red one. That's the problem. So I get that. GTA 5 best moments. Any words about Commodore, Tim? Any memories of playing on Commodore? Like the Commodore 64 or anything like that? Oh,
gosh, yeah. I played, what was the Pac-Man that they had on there?
Yeah.
It was really fun. I remember playing the Commodore 64, and I remember there's something we had to put on the screen or on the
like an
TV,
overlay.
Like an overlay. But they had help me out, what was their version of Pac-Man? It was something like Maze Craze.
Casey Munchkin?
Casey Munchkin. That was a fun game.
Yeah, or was that for Intellivision? Or was it for both? I don't know.
I think it was on Commodore.
Okay.
I have to look
Casey
that
Munchkin or something like that. Some bootleg.
It was fun though.
So I played with the Commodore 64. My uncle, when he moved out of my grandparents' house, left one there, and so me and my cousins would play with it. And so I did play some Commodore 64 games. I remember having to do the Go 64, and I had to figure out some of the commands and things to get it to run. But I've had a little bit of Commodore experience, not a whole lot. I'm definitely not an expert by any means, but I do remember playing with them. He said, I'm talking about the new acquisition of Commodore. I haven't even heard about that, Tim. I guess that's not our news
to us.
Yeah, exactly. So
send us an article.
Oh, right, exactly. not in the news and discussion that we had for the month. But, Commodore, Tim, I guess I think of more home consoles and computers than I do about, arcade stuff, which may be why I kind of we missed the boat on that one. So.
Maybe so.
Let's continue on with the news that we do have, Tim. And this next one is about a Golden Tee that is coming out, Tim. Arcade Golf Series Golden Tee is getting a retro compilation by Digital Eclipse, which is a big retro compilation company, Tim. Golden Tee Arcade Classics has been announced for modern consoles and PC. The game is being developed by Digital Eclipse and will consist of 8 games from trackball game developer Incredible Technologies, Tim, 6 of which are from its popular Golden Tee series. How do you think the game will translate to consoles with no trackball controls, and do you plan on buying it when it's released? So, Tim, these are the questions we pose to the audience. What do you think? How would you play Golden Tee without the trackball control?
Not even interested.
Okay, not interested. Okay,
I
understand
have a trackball.
Yeah. So not interested at all in the trackball. What about, so you're not thinking about buying it at all?
No.
Gotta have the trackball. So there we go. I'm kind of the same way, Tim. I think maybe, I was about to say, maybe with the, I have the arcade one up here that Tim's talking about. It's literally right here. And it plays fine. It has a trackball, Tim. But you could maybe do it a little bit with the thumbstick.
Maybe.
Not quite the same. It's a little rough. So there you
the
go.
game has to have a trackball.
Yeah,
it's
it is a
playing
trackball
Centipede with a joystick.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not the same.
Agreed. So I don't know how it's gonna do. Now it's set to PC, Tim. If you have a MAME setup, you could probably play it okay. You know what I'm saying? It's fully licensed, so you'd probably have like you used to have your MAME with the trackball. It'd probably play really great on that if that's what you want to play it on. So it's not all for naught, but I think if you're talking about a console, Tim, I think it's pretty hard to. Now, what about touchscreen? Like on the Switch, like pulling back on it and then having and then going forward.
I'd rather do that than a joystick.
Yeah, so maybe Switch controls may be the best bet on that. For sure. Let's see. Joe says Choplifter on the Commodore. Casey Munchkin was on the TI-99 4A, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
And Razor Show says Blinks also has a nickname called Cruz Elroy, is what it says. So there you go. But Casey Munchkin was for more than one platform. I can't remember. I remember it was the Pac-Man bootleg. I remember that. So okay, let us move on to the next bit of. Now, Tim, I didn't really think this would get much traction at all, but for some reason, it went gangbusters on Twitter, of all places, or on our X account. And that was about this fan-made game, Ultimate Sonic Smackdown. Okay? But the cool thing is it plays like Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a 3-on-3 fighting game. using Sonic characters. So in
Okay.
2020, ArcForged, which is a independent team of developers, and they do fan games. They released Sonic Smackdown, a fighting game featuring several characters from Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Now ArcForge has returned with an upgraded version entitled Ultimate Sonic Smackdown, which seems to be inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom, the series. And it says, what do you think about this concept? And by that, it's a 3-on-3 fighting game like what we have with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And so you pick 3 characters for each side, and then you battle them together. And you can switch between the characters at will. And so I think that's why people were excited about it, was because people really like that 3-on-3 style fighting game. But Marvel vs. Capcom is like one of the only series that really does that. There's not a whole lot of other series that does.
So that's
Maybe
why
King of
it's
Fighters.
popular, yeah.
Right. So I think that when you add that and you add Sonic characters in with it, I think that people were like, oh, that's really cool. I agree. So there you go. Jason says KC Munchkin was on the Odyssey 2 as well.
Odyssey.
That's what I'm saying. I think
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I
of, the
think
Odyssey.
it was on some different platforms. I don't know what all it was on. So, but there you go. Odyssey 2.
Odyssey. That's what game. I was thinking of not the Commodore. We had an Odyssey.
There you go. So anyway, guys, so check out Ultimate Sonic Smackdown. It's free download. You don't have to pay anything. It's a fan-made game, and so far Sega hasn't sued them for to take it down. Nintendo, will do that in a heartbeat for any of their fan-made stuff. Typically, they'll get them to take it down almost immediately. So with Sega and some of the other companies, they're a little bit more lenient on this kind of stuff. So if it were me, Tim, you know what I would do? If somebody made a fan game, I'd buy it. I'd say, hey, you guys here. If I'm Sega, I'm like, hey, this is a really great game. Let me buy it from you. We'll publish it, or we'll publish it and give you 10-15% of the sales.
I think that's a good idea.
So I mean that way, and then it's fully licensed because Sega has the rights to it, right? And then the developer gets money from it.
I think it's good.
Yeah, for sure. Jason says Chuck's Arcade News. So there was some Chuck's Arcade News. I don't think I put it on the outline here. Let's talk about it real quick, though.
I've heard it all over the place. I heard
noticed
it on the radio today.
We covered this in February.
Right.
Okay, we have been on the Chuck's Arcade. We have been on top of it. Right here, this is us in Chuck's Arcade. We have been on top of it. The biggest news that's come out, though, Tim, is the stuffed animatronics. So what they have done, Tim, is they have taken their animatronics from some of the stores, and they have basically stuffed them into one position and put them behind glass. Right. And the position is like a waving style position like this.
Right. It's kind of creepy.
What somebody on Reddit that I was reading, they called it Chucksadermy. Okay, it's a Chucksadermy of these animatronics. And so that has been the biggest new news to come out. Everything else we've pretty much covered. Like all the other stuff about Chuck's Arcade, and you can go back and listen to our interview with Matthew Powers from Nintendo Wire, Tim. We covered all of it about Chuck's Arcade. But that is the newest thing, is that they are taking the animatronics and they're freezing them in place and just kind of putting them near the entrance as kind of like an attention giver.
But I'll tell you how much I've heard it. Today they were talking about the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. And the next thing they talked about was, when we come back, we're going to talk about a grown-up Chuck E. Cheese. I was like, this is making news now on the same day that the hugest bill is passed.
Yes.
They were literally like, as soon as we get through with this, we're going to tell you about the new grown-up Chuck E. Cheese. I was like, wow.
So that's the thing, Tim. We were covering this back in February.
Yeah.
So, like I said, check out the interview. We've got it all there. Now, with that said, the stuffed animatronics is interesting. Me and Tim talked about it. Like, you couldn't make a move a little bit,
Maybe.
Like just a repeating motion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like they could constantly go high.
Well, we were talking about Pasquale, that you should have put him on a drum set and
yeah.
just had him go like this or like this.
They pretty much didn't do that much more.
Right, exactly. I mean,
a long time ago.
That would take 2 motors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like you don't even have to have a control to the motors. Just have them do that. Just plug it in, and I mean, and Chucky, you could easily just gone.
Right.
Right. Like
Something.
That's it. Like just have his arm move. Okay. You don't even need control. No PLCs required. Nothing like that. Right, Tim?
Just a motor.
Yeah, exactly. Just a single motor that goes back and forth. So I think not making the move was a mistake, because people, when they see them, they think they move. Yeah. I mean, that's what we think of when we think of Chuck E. Cheese. So I'm not saying you had to hook them up to an actual control system or PLC. You don't need to do that. Just hook them up to a single motor or 2 motors, just to give them enough movement to say, hey, he's moving, kind of thing. And I think that would have been fun. Or just have Chuck E. Cheese move his head. I mean, that's what I saw moving most of the time anyway.
Right.
Like he could have just looked around. Exactly. Looked at people. Like, and you don't even have to do it all the time. Just every so often, just move his head.
Yep.
Move his head. That would have been fine. So. But anyway, yeah, it's but yeah, adult arcade, Tim. I mean, it's a mall arcade.
Right.
That's all it is. I mean, now the video from the one in Georgia, which we posted a link to on our Facebook page and X page, that one did have some classic games, Tim. Remember, it had some LCD versions of like Centipede, Asteroids, and some other ones, right?
Yep.
And so they did actually put some classic games in there, albeit they're new versions of classic games, but still, I mean, they're there. So, I mean, that's good stuff. But they're making a really big deal about this, and I'm like, man, we've been covering this for 4 months or something.
Right.
So,
Hey, there goes.
it's interesting for sure. I'm glad that they're getting the publicity, and I hope the concept stays around because I do like it. So, go over to the live chat. Joe says, I threw my Odyssey 2 and a handful of my games in the dumpster back around 1990. So there you go. And yours is gone too. You sold yours. Right?
Yeah, everything. I had a bunch of consoles.
Yep, exactly. So all that's gone. But let us move to our next bit of news here, Tim. And I think we had talked about this, or we had mentioned this in the post for this episode, and that is that Ryan Reynolds is reviving the classic arcade video game Dragon's Lair with a movie. And the movie is he's going to be in it, and it's going to be produced by Netflix. The project was greenlit back in 2020 after a year of negotiations to try and secure the rights to the game franchise. James Bobin, Tim, the filmmaker behind The Muppets and Muppets Most Wanted, is reportedly in talks to direct the live-action spin-off of the 1980s arcade classic. Are you interested in seeing this when it comes out, Tim?
I think, yeah, probably.
Okay. Now, it's live action, which is interesting because Dragon's Lair is a cartoon, right? Technically. So it's interesting that they went with a live-action version over like a cartoon version.
Right.
So,
which that's kind of the trend, though, these days,
it's true.
right?
Live action is becoming much more popular, I feel like. So, anyway, Tim, I'm interested in it. Now, it's a Netflix-produced film, so it may just come straight to Netflix. I don't know if it's going to go through theaters first. Sometimes it does. Or if it's going to come straight to Netflix. So, I will definitely give it a shot. Tim, I really like Ryan Reynolds, and I really like Dragon's Lair. I think that's a really good combination for success. Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, if you're at the Game Preserve in Houston, you can see Joe Cookham's
Dirk the
Daring's life-size model.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that he did.
For sure. So, Alan says, Dragon's Lair is one of my favorite games. The movie has been talked about since 1984. That is correct. The thing is that you got Netflix funding it now. You got Ryan Reynolds attached to him. When you have two big names like that, it's going to happen. So, it's just a matter of time. So, it was going to be a choose-your-own adventure on Netflix, but that was changed. Yeah, Netflix has gotten rid of all their choose-your-own adventure.
I thought that would be the perfect one for
it. Exactly. So, but they've gotten rid of their entire thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, now, some people have preserved some of them, like... Black Mirror Bandersnatch, I thought it's been preserved on a website, so you can still like walk through them, but it's no longer on Netflix. But Netflix is doing away with that whole part of the platform, and I always thought that was a cool thing. Anyway, my kids like to do the.
This would be the perfect
movie
for it.
My kids like to do the Puss in Boots one, and they also did the Jurassic World one.
Oh, okay.
Like, and it was you press left or right on the remote and you make the decisions. I always thought that's cool, but I don't know. I guess it costs too much to keep it going.
Maybe so.
Or maybe not enough people watched it. Now, Tim, this is the last bit of news that we have for this episode, Tim, and it's not huge, but it was something I found interesting, and that's that somebody had cut down an arcade one-up cabinet to fit in an RV.
All right.
Okay, a recent Facebook Marketplace listing for an RV includes a Miss Pac-Man arcade one-up cabinet where the bottom part has been cut in order to fit the space. Unlike most coin-op arcades that have a power supply located in the bottom of the cabinet, all the electronics in an arcade one-up are located in the monitor, which allows for this scenario. What do you think about this, Tim? How would you feel if it was an actual coin-up version instead of an arcade one-up?
Oh, I'd be sad.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're okay with it if it's an arcade one-up?
Why not?
Okay.
It's already a cut-up version.
That's kind of true. Obviously, if it's a coin-op, it'd be a whole lot harder to do this. You'd have to move all of the bottom of the cabinet basically up to level with it, and it'd also take up more width because arcade one-ups are a little bit shorter. But yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if you got it to fit the space, it fits the space, right? I mean, cool. You can't get it in there otherwise, so you might as well cut it down, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, I don't know. Are there arcade one-up purists out there? They're like, this is a sacrilege.
Maybe. Like, how dare they?
Yes, how dare they? I can't believe somebody would touch an arcade one-up cabinet and cut it like that. That's just terrible. Coin-ops we understand, because coin-ops were not meant for this, right? But, I mean, when you're talking about a home-use cabinet, well, Tim, we just made it an RV-use cabinet. That's what we did, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
But if it was a coin-op, we'd be giving you some trouble.
Right.
So, there you go. Coming over to the live chat, Tim, Alan says, Don Bluth's Toon Talk magazine in 2000 had storyboards from a possible animated movie, Tim. So, yeah, I mean, an animated movie could still happen in Dragon's Lair. It's a cool concept no matter what you think.
Maybe if the Netflix movie is popular, they'll consider it.
I think so. We'll have to see, Tim. But again, like you mentioned, live action seems to be the way things are going. Like we see it with Disney, Lilo and Stitch, stuff like that. Now to How to Train Your Dragon, DreamWorks, same kind of thing. So those seem to be doing gangbusters at the movie theater. Just saying. So it is what it is. What's my next big movie that we're gonna go see? I was trying to think. We want to go see How to Train Your Dragon. I haven't seen that yet. So, but the new Jurassic Park looks good. I don't think we'll see it though. They said that it's more horror. But anyway, getting off topic. That's for the after show. Tim, we want to remind people that we want your arcade-related videos. If you want some free advertising for your YouTube channel. So, who was that was talking earlier? Was that General Strife saying he had an arcade video coming up? General Strife, if you want some free advertising for your YouTube channel, you can send us a short video, 10 minutes less, about arcade-related topics. And if we like it, we'll use it during one of our live shows. Just send a link of your video to questions@arcaderepairtips.com, and we'll review it. And make sure you put a plug in for your channel so people will know where to find you. We look forward to seeing your submissions. So I think it was General Strife earlier that said he's got an arcade-related video coming up. Once you get it done and published on your YouTube page, send it to us, and we'll play it on our during the live show as a promotion for you. And hopefully we can drive some people your way. Tim, the whole point of doing this is to help people get monetized. Because here on YouTube, it's a lot harder to get monetized than it used to be. And so we want to give people an opportunity, maybe drive some of our audience who'd be interested in your content over to you so that hopefully they can help you get as many subscribers and views as you need to get there. So again, send an email to questions@arcaderepairtips.com with a link to your video. We'll review it, and if we like it, we'll use it during one of the episodes. So. And then, Tim, we want to put our email address in here, questions@arcaderepairtips.com, questions@arcaderepairtips.com. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send your questions there. And if you put live show in the subject line, we will save it for the show. Otherwise, we will try to answer it whenever it comes in or whenever we get around to it. But the best way to get a hold of us is questions@arcaderepairtips.com. Send an email there, and we'll be sure to check it out. We also have our YouTube page, or youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. Now, all these fine folks in the chat over here, Tim, all know that. But if you're listening to this on the question and answer feed, podcast feed, then you may want to check out our YouTube channel at youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. And remember, the comments from the last live show will be covered on the next episode. Again, that is youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. youtube.arcaderepairtips.com. And then we have our podcast feed that has our live shows, interview podcasts, question and answer podcasts, and all sorts of other stuff. You can find that on pretty much any platform where podcasts are aggregated, but specifically on iTunes at itunes.arcaderepairtips.com. Spotify at spotify.arcaderepairtips.com, and Audible at audible.arcaderepairtips.com. And you can leave us a review on any of those fine web pages as well. So again, itunes.arcaderepairtips.com for you iOS users over there, spotify.arcaderepairtips.com for Spotify listeners, and audible.arcaderepairtips.com for Audible. Please subscribe and listen to our shows there, the question and answer shows. We do mention that the after show is not on the audio podcast feed. So if you want to hear the after show for any of our live show episodes, you will have to check out our YouTube page and find that episode in order to hear the after show. The after show takes place about 5 minutes after the live show, and basically it's just a time when me and Tim get to hang out and talk about whatever we want.
That's it.
If you would like to hear that part, then you will need to check us out on the YouTube page. And then we have our social media pages. We have our Facebook page at facebook.arcaderepairtips.com and our Twitter/X feed at twitter.arcaderepairtips.com. And I think I've got the X feed working again. There for a while we were having some little issues with it, but I believe everything's working now. But again, facebook.arcaderepairtips.com for Facebook. Our Twitter/X feed is at twitter.arcaderepairtips.com. You can pretty much subscribe to the one or the other. They're pretty much the same content in both places. And Tim, we try to post something every single day. So if you're looking for your best source of arcade news, look no further than facebook.arcaderepairtips.com for Facebook users or twitter.arcaderepairtips.com for Twitter/X users. Tim, anything else I'm forgetting before we close out the regular show and move on to the after show?
I don't think so. Thank you guys for being a part of it, and hope that you got something out of it and learned something today.
Yep.
If not, stick around and ask us another question. Maybe we can come up with something in the after show.
Yeah, so if you stay tuned right here, in about 5 minutes, we're going to start the after show. Tim, what do we have on slate for the after show this evening? What are some things we'll be talking about?
Well, a lot of stuff going on in our world and politics. We may even dabble a little bit into that. We'll probably talk some sports, some investing, maybe
Tim,
some
I'd like
shows
to say,
we've been watching.
I would like to say that the Dallas Mavericks captured the flag.
Yeah, they did.
Can I say that?
They did.
Okay, we can talk about that. We'll talk about NHL finals, NBA finals, because last time they were going on, but they had not finished up. So we'll talk about who won those. We'll talk about what we've been watching, Tim. I watched 4 movies since the last time that we got together. And you know why? I had
Wow.
COVID. So
You had to
I was in
catch up.
bed. So I got to watch some stuff because
Yeah,
I
got
was
caught
laying
up.
down in bed. So I watched a lot of stuff. I watched Queen of the Ring, Friendship, A Working Man, and Novocaine. Those are the
Okay.
4 movies, and I'll tell you which ones I recommended. And then, Tim, I also watched 2 of the Trainwreck episodes on Netflix, the
I
Trainwreck
saw that.
series. So
I
we'll
saw
talk about those, and then also some other shows that we're watching. So if you want to talk about TV shows and movies, we'd love to hear some things that you recommend or some things you would recommend us staying away from, one or the other.
Right.
And stay tuned for that, and we'll let you know I'll let you know what I thought about all the stuff we watched and maybe some things that we're going to be seeing soon. So again, all you have to do is just wait about 5 minutes after we finish up the regular live show for the after show. Stay tuned right here if you're in the live chat, if you're watching this on YouTube. And it'll just move on to that after we're done with the regular show. But Tim, I think we're about done here.
Okay.
So for adjustments for better clarity, episode 101. Tim, we are officially in triple digits.
Yep.
So last month was the 100th episode, of course, and we had a good time with that, Tim. The cookie cake is gone. We did eat it all.
Right.
How was it for you? Did you share it with
It
everybody?
was great.
Okay.
Everybody enjoyed it.
Everybody got a piece?
Oh, yeah.
Good. So it was a good cookie cake.
It was good.
Yeah, and then I ended up eating another cookie cake like a week after that.
We're
So
getting one,
too many
we're getting
cookie
one
cakes.
tomorrow.
Too many cookie cakes. Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I
suppose?
guess
Okay.
so.
What's it gonna say on it?
I
Happy
don't know.
Independence Day or?
Something like that.
Wow. See, cookie cakes,
I
Tim.
didn't order it. I'm picking it up, though.
I tell you what, though, I mean, I guess I revived this without even meaning to when I got one for Olivia's soccer team, and now we're like on the cookie cake kick.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is, but anyway. Oh, Jumping General just showed up late to the party. You're never late here. You're right on time. That's what we always say. Jumping General, thanks for getting in there. Sorry you missed out on the quiz. We had a good time with the quiz. Right?
Yeah, I think you would have done good on the quiz.
Yeah, exactly. It was all Pac-Man questions. So, but we had a good time. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. But if you would like to stay tuned in about 5 minutes here, we'll start the after show and we'll talk about some non-arcade related topics, still arcade related if you want as well. And otherwise, if this is your off ramp, we'll see you next month, Tim. Now it's 5 weeks until the August
The
episode.
7th, I
Yeah,
think.
the 7th. So it's going to be a long time between now and then. So get those questions in whenever you get a chance. We may be replying back to those because it's so long between episodes, and we may not save a lot of those for the live show, just depending on how many we get. So, but we're looking forward to seeing you in the August episode, Tim. And August always makes me think back to school, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll be getting ready for that when we see you next time. But anyway, guys, if this is your off ramp, thanks for being here. Thanks to the live chat for being here. Awesome, guys. You guys did awesome. Amazing job over here. And we especially want to thank Peter for his $10 donation again. Peter, thank you so much for that. It's okay that it wasn't enough for Omaha Steaks. We'll figure out another way to get Tim Omaha Steaks next time. Or if somebody else would like to donate, maybe we can get us some this time.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing you next month. And remember here at Arcade Repair Tips, when you fix the game,
You play the game.
take care, everybody. We'll see you next month, or we'll see you here in about 5 minutes for the after show. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Arcade Repair Tips live show. All of our past episodes are available on our website at arcaderepairtips.com or on our YouTube page. This show is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please consult a professional before attempting to repair any coin-operated machines yourself. The preceding program is a Varcade Entertainment production.
And we're back with the after show for episode 101. Now, Tim, before we get officially into the after show, we have an arcade related question in here from, it looks like Mardoque?
Okay.
Mardoque. How would you say that?
Close enough.
Okay, there we go. He says, I just got an arcade cabinet and I know where the volume control is. I cannot sleep at night when the game runs on demo and I don't want to unplug it. Okay, so usually the volume control, Tim, is inside the coin door, right?
Right.
Now, sometimes, though, it's on the board itself. It depends on the arcade
in the
game.
settings.
Right, exactly. So it depends on the arcade game. So, like, if you take a 60-in-1 board, for instance, there's a volume control in the board itself in the test mode.
Right.
Okay, some have a volume knob that you can turn down. Sometimes it's on the game board. Sometimes it's a part of the cabinet. Now, you can install a volume potentiometer.
Right.
Our friends at retroarcade.us, Holland Computers, they have a volume rheostat that you can install that, and it even shows you how to wire it up. They have the wiring diagram as well. We show this in our video on assembling a cocktail cabinet, both versions of it. You can see how to hook that up. But you may need to install the volume control if you don't have one, and if there's not one on the board, and there's not a volume control in the test mode for the game. So if you want to know if there's a volume control in the test mode for the game, find the manual, and the manual will tell you.
Yeah, what game do you have?
Right, exactly.
Maybe that will help us.
Yeah, so we can tell you that. Just let us know what manual you have, and then or what game you have, and we can look at the manual, or we might know off the top of our heads as far as if it has a volume control or not. So let us know, and we'll try to help you out there. Joe says stocks. He wants to talk about stocks.
Okay.
My stuff is flying.
Mine too.
And then he says, so for COVID, why hasn't China been held financially responsible? The first politician that comes out and says, we are going to hold China financially responsible for COVID, I'm supporting. I don't care the party.
Right.
Okay, the first serious politician that's going to get after it and get other people to go after China
I think
for COVID.
The whole world needs to hold them responsible.
Agreed. That guy gets my vote, but I got to see seriousness. You just can't say it. You need to be getting people behind you to support you. Like, I want you to bring up a bill and to get a sponsor for the bill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that politician needs to win. So the first politician who will take that seriously, I will support. I don't even care. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian,
Right.
Green Party. Like, I don't care. But I think we need somebody to hold China responsible for COVID.
I think
Because,
so.
man, it screwed up everything for, like, at least 3 years, and we're still getting over it. You can tell I'm a little hoarse still from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 2 weeks now. I only had a fever for 24 hours, Tim, but my energy level is still not back to where it was. I'm still not as strong as I was before.
And nobody else in the household caught it?
They did, but they didn't get it as bad.
Okay.
I had it the worst of everybody. My daughter, her cough is just now going away.
Okay.
But and we all had kind of varying degrees of it. I just got the worst of it. So, which I probably have the weakest immune system among all of us. So it is what it is. But no, Joe, I am fully on board with whatever politician wants to say, let's hold China accountable. Dude, let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I agree.
So, and that needs to happen. Stock wise, dude, feeling you, looking at my accounts like, boy, high fives.
I bought some,
yes, making money.
I bought some Nintendo stocks before the Switch came out.
Oh man, that's a great idea.
was
I didn't even think about it.
It's real simple. I'm like, Switch is coming out. I'm gonna buy some Nintendo stock.
So, great stuff, man. If you've looked at your 401k or your stock portfolio recently, you should be very happy. Now, the funny thing was that Trump told us this. He said that you guys need to buy all the stocks when they're on sale because it's all going to go up.
Right.
He told us this. I wish I would have bought more. I should have bought more when it was down. And
I bought some Nvidia when it was down. I bought Netflix when it was down.
I got in at on the Nvidia, I think I got in at 107. It went down to 86.
Yeah.
I was like, I should have bought it at 86.
Yeah, I'm in 90 something.
Yeah, you're lower than me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still making money, but you got in better. So, I mean, it's just, but you see, I'm never going to, hey, if you're making money, you're making money.
Right.
I mean, you can talk about making more profit or less profit, but money is money.
I'm trying to really I'm getting better. I've got enough dividend stocks.
Yeah,
and
me
I think
too.
I made like $60 lately, like over a quarter or something. That's a lot for me in dividends.
That's a lot,
I was like, wow, that was $60.
Yep.
Just for dividends.
I mean, there's a lot of people who
even
just
when
buy
they go
dividend.
down,
Just buy dividend stocks. The nice thing about dividend stocks, Tim, is they're consistent typically, right? I mean, it's like they're a lot more consistent than the stock fluctuation, I feel like.
Right.
Especially you can find ones that have a history of consistency.
Right.
And so if you find those that have a history of consistency, then it can really help you out. And so that's dividend stocks are a great way to go, for sure. So yeah, but
Because used to it's like you got a dividend. It's like 14 cents.
Yep.
I'm like, yes. Now it's like $21 or something.
Yep.
I'm like, whoa, that's pretty
yeah,
good.
if you invest in all dividend stocks, for sure, you can get up there.
I've built that up a little bit.
So obviously, yeah, the economy's going strong. You're very happy with it, Tim. I think that the big beautiful bill, or whatever you want to call it, is I think it passing has led to less uncertainty, and so because there's less uncertainty, the market is going up.
Right.
I mean,
And
that's
we
what it comes down
understand
to.
everybody's going to have a different opinion on the bill itself.
But it's not the bill itself. It's the fact that it
fact
passed.
Yeah.
And now we know exactly what to expect.
Exactly.
Wall Street does not like uncertainty.
Right.
So when there's certainty,
or
boom.
when there's war going on or something. So
exactly. And so like the whole thing with Iran, the market was a little contentious there for a little bit, but that's all kind of shaken out now. And so we've gotten to almost like a certainty point. And so once the
I don't
better
understand
certainty
why
there
gas
is, the
is
better it's
still
going
what
to be.
it costs when the price of oil has been down for a while.
That's a good question.
It's kind of really used to that fluctuated like you could see price of oil would go up $2 a barrel and gas would go up 20 cents.
Yep.
Now it's like it changed. It's been down and low, but the gas prices at the pump have yet to reflect that. I'm a little disappointed in that.
Well, my dad would always say gas prices are up like a rocket, down like a parachute. And so it always takes a long time for the prices to come down. They skyrocket up, but it always takes a long time for them to come down. And plus, here's the thing, summertime demand. Demand is higher in the summertime than it is any other time.
And then this is the time of year, my wife asked me the other day, what stocks have you bought lately? Just kind of creating conversation. I said natural gas, home heating oil, and some commodities. And she was like, why in the world would you buy natural gas right now? I said, I'm buying while it's low.
Right.
And the use is low, and I'll sell it later in February.
Yep.
It's real easy, Now, it's hard when I see it dipping some days really low, but I'll buy more on the dip, right? So I've gotten to where I've done that the last few years because it's always easy to predict,
So Joe says, Tim has a tuft of hair on the left side of his head that looks like half of Captain America. I feel like I want to follow him into battle with Hydra.
Right. It's been one of those days, yo. Actually, I had to wear a hat. I have to wear a hat at work, and the fact that I'm sweating and everything just made it 10 times worse lately. By the time I pull that thing off, all my hair just kind of goes. You know what? At my age, I'm just glad to have
You got hair. I was about
I'm
to
just
say.
glad to have it. It might be gray, but it's holding on.
There you go. So yeah, stocks have been doing really great. If you got in at all when we had the little tariff situation, you've probably made money since then.
Yep.
Now with that said, Dave & Buster's still hasn't come back.
No, what's wrong with Dave?
Well, I think the problem is that people still don't feel like they have expendable income yet.
Yeah.
And so until we get to a point where people feel like they have expendable income, then I think that that Dave & Buster's is going to suffer. And the whole restaurant sector is still kind of suffering. Too.
Yeah,
most people are eating at home.
We're still not eating out a lot ourselves.
So
I mean, occasionally, but not like I feel like we were.
Right.
Just
Now, I do think the
because,
summertime has helped. I think the demand is probably up a little bit more. And so we may see next quarter, we may see a little bit of a uptick for them, I'm hoping.
Yep.
So we'll see. Jump in General says, let's see. It says, it costs more to run my pole position all night. I guess it's what or will it cost more to run my pole position all night? Yeah, I mean, if you want to leave it on all night. Now, we should say that earlier we had that question about the other one, and he doesn't want to unplug it. Guys, we recommend turning off the games when you're not using them.
Right.
Okay? We feel like that's the best thing to do. Some of you guys want to run them all the time. They're really not designed to run all the time.
Yeah.
They do want some shut-off time there. And so,
I would think of it like your TV in your living room. You don't leave it on 24/7.
No.
When you're through watching, you turn it off. Gives it time to cool down and stuff. It's actually, in my opinion, better for your games to have some solid downtime.
Agreed. So, at Chuck E. Cheese, you guys shut them off every night, right?
Every night.
Every night. So, I mean, for sure. So running them all the time, I think it. Now, here's the thing: the initial boot up is hard on a game, but I don't feel like that's as hard as running them 24/7.
I wouldn't plug them in and out 20 times a day.
Right.
But once a day or something, it makes me funny. Think about Stan's video. We had all of them on Alexa, turn on Pac-Man, and I thought that was actually kind of cool. And but as you see, most of the time they were off.
Yeah, it was cool until it activated my Alexa like 20 times.
Right.
So when I was watching the video, I'm like, ah! So no, but and it's like can't find power plug named Moon Patrol. I think it's like, okay, but yeah, no. I think having smart plugs is a good way to do it. You can turn them on and off very easily. So, but yeah, man, the economy's going well. It's a good time right now. Like I don't know how long we're gonna stay here, like where we are,
Right.
Tim, but feeling good. And really, that's because a lot of the uncertainty has gone away. Like we said, it was kind of tenuous there during the Iraq, the bombing and stuff, because people didn't really know how that was all going to shake out. And then when the ceasefire happened, we saw a little jump. You'll notice that. Again, certainty is all that's about. And now with the BBB, it's the same kind of thing. It's more about certainty. Once it passed, we know now where everything's going. And so the economy loves certainty. So that's what we're looking at. So it has nothing to do with what side of the political aisle you're on. The economy can go up under both Democrat and Republican administrations, as long as we know where it's going. Right. That is the key. So,
that's all right.
Any other stock talk, investment talk, anything else you want to talk?
No, I think so. We've talked mostly about that. Probably some other topics we should get to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Joe says I hate flashing LEDs, but GI is really smart. So, yeah. So, I'm not big on flashing LEDs either. But like my computer has one, Tim, and I leave it on all night, and I sleep in there, and I'm okay with it. I mean, it just depends. I mean, I guess it doesn't bother me. Like I know some people have to have it pitch black when they sleep.
No,
that's not me.
Like a little bit of light.
Yeah,
I gotta always get up. I don't want to run into everything.
Right, for sure. So it just depends. It just depends on, like I said, what you like. So let's talk some sports, Tim.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about who won the NBA championship. Do you know?
That would be the Thunder.
That is correct. What do you think about that?
I didn't really. I was glad for Kansas City, and I do think they were the best team, and I was glad for them to get a
Oklahoma
championship.
City, you mean?
Yeah.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
You said Kansas City.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I do think they were the best team, and I was rooting for them, but I just didn't watch much of it. I don't know why.
Well, the problem was it was Indiana
Yeah.
versus Oklahoma City, two small markets. And that's and so like the viewership on this, Tim, if you saw it, it was pretty bad.
But I grew up in Oklahoma, and I would have.
But the Thunder weren't there when you were there.
No, but I really did want them to win. But that's weird how you ever just like root for somebody but didn't watch it.
Yep.
So I wasn't supporting. So I don't know. I like watch. I'd rather watch Caitlin Clark play.
Yeah.
I really do like to watch her play. So it's
Paige Buckets, as we like to call her, for
Right.
the Dallas Wings. Have you seen her?
Yes.
Oh, she's rookie of the year so
really
far.
good,
She's
so
looking awesome. So
I'm actually enjoying watching that as much as the guys.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
I'm glad. All they really needed, Tim, were some stars, and I feel like they're finally getting some stars that are coming into the league.
There's always a little drama.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what makes it good, right? Back in the day, it was Larry Bird,
Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson. Yeah, exactly.
It's like the drama was what fueled it.
Exactly. So when you have good players and good rivalries, it makes a difference. The WNBA has been underwater, though. The NBA has been basically supporting it for a long time now. I'm hoping at some point the WNBA can basically at least break even, if not make money. So we'll see. But it's interesting. I didn't watch a whole lot of it either, Tim, but OKC definitely seemed like the better team. And Tim, the thing about OKC, they're young. Oh my goodness. And so they could be dominant for a long time.
Could be a dynasty going up.
Exactly.
There,
And the problem, we're in their division. Our conference. We're in their conference. So that sucks. But but Tim, let's move to the NBA draft.
Right.
Somehow
we did get
a 1.8% chance the Dallas Mavericks got the first pick in the lottery.
Right.
Okay, it may have been a little rigged. But I'm okay with that.
That's what I would probably think.
Yeah.
But
that whole Luka trade thing, guys, we paid dearly for that number one pick, I promise.
Right, we did.
Dearly. So, but we captured the flag, Tim.
Right.
We got Cooper Flag. What do you think about Cooper Flag? Now, he's a Duke guy.
Yeah.
What do you think of his game? Have you seen him play?
Yeah, he's very solid.
Yep.
I don't know that he'll be an NBA All-Star right off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't think
he doesn't have to be, though.
Yeah,
he's on a team with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. He doesn't have to be a star.
That's what I'm going to say. You didn't need another. You just needed a person to play his position.
Right.
And I think he's great with that team.
Yeah.
That really makes them a contender with him on board. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have others where you're just say, well, he's a dominant player. He's awesome. Or we still could use a really big guy. Did we get anybody in the lower rounds?
I mean, no, we didn't get anybody, but they re-signed what's his name that we've had forever. I can't even think of his But yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. But I mean, we have some big men. I think they can fit in that.
But I can't see taking any other player that was available over him. That would have been
of course,
just
no.
dumb.
He was the
He was the
definitive number
first-
one.
yeah,
There's
he
nobody who's the same. And Tim, the one thing I heard about him more than anything was that he's a killer. Like he's the kind of guy who, how, okay, what's the difference between like Michael Jordan and like Kobe Bryant or like any of the top players now?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan would literally kill you for a win.
Right.
Like he was super competitive. Right.
Right. Very competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't take time off.
That's
for days
Cooper Flag.
and- yeah.
He is super
Workhorse.
competitive.
Yeah.
Right. He is a workhorse. He is super competitive. and he will slit your throat. He will come after you. You know what I'm saying? And so that is what I've seen. If you'll see, he doesn't want to just beat you. He wants to dominate you.
Right.
And that's the difference in his game. Now, Tim, they're talking about playing him as a point guard. If you listen to Jason
do.
Kidd, which is
I-
very interesting.
I can almost see it.
You can see it though. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing. He did not play
With
point
this
guard at
team,
Duke. Right.
right.
Exactly. But with our team, he seems fit for that position,
Mhm.
which is very interesting. And Jason Kidd is basketball savvy. And I think he sees what we see, the fact that he
point
can
guard
be there.
himself.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be amazing to watch this kid play. Now, is he on the level of Luka? Time will tell. I'm not
Right.
sure. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But may not need to be.
No, and Tim, how
You
many
got
number
a
one?
90% Luka.
Right. How many? But I mean,
It's
exactly.
good.
There's just not that many people who are like Luka.
Right.
But how many number one picks get to come out of the draft onto a competitive team?
Right.
How often does that happen?
That's not very often.
Exactly. So if you're Cooper Flag, you gotta love this. You're
Right.
going to a team that the very
They're
first
not
year you're
building
there,
a team around
No
him.
rebuilds.
They're building
Right, exactly.
a team with him. Yeah,
right,
a
exactly.
lot
The
of
team is
difference.
already there.
Right.
Okay, he is coming
Just
in.
added a piece.
He is coming into a great situation to fill a hole in the game
Mhm.
that we have. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect for us. And so
Yeah.
it's going to be super exciting to watch him play. So I know people were really down the Mavericks for the trade that happened. My question is, if you're a fan of basketball,
Mhm.
you should probably watch this kid play.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, because I think he's going to be something special. Like Tim mentioned, this year may not be his year per se, his breakout year, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, he'll have some time. Kyrie's hurt. He's going to come back
Mhm.
like 3 months into the season. So there's going to be a time where we may have a little bit of struggle and things like that. But I mean, he's going to be around great players.
Mhm.
Kyrie Irving was a number one. Anthony
Right.
Davis was a number one.
Right.
These guys know what it's like to be a number one. And don't you want somebody who's a number one now learning from those guys? That
For
would
sure.
be my point. So I'm looking forward to it. Capture the flag. We got it. Looking forward to seeing Cooper Flag play, Tim.
Mhm.
Let's move to NHL real quick. Tim, we had a repeat of last year's Stanley Cup Finals.
Right.
We had the Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. And Tim, deja vu, Florida Panthers win again. So how do you feel about a team from the Southern United States taking the
Well,
the hockey cup,
what I
the
didn't-
Stanley Cup?
I'm not a huge hockey fan, but what I didn't realize is how long has it been since a Canadian team has won?
Oh, it's been forever.
Right, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's really about that. That just shows how popular the sport is, and they say
Now, with that said, there's a lot of Canadians that play for American teams.
that is true.
We should say that.
Yeah, if they only played on the
Right,
Canada
exactly.
team, they would dominate, right?
Right.
But no, it's good for the league, good for fans to get to see those guys play in those areas. I loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great. And
I
then,
was rooting for them.
so the Texas Rangers, Tim, I forgot who mentioned earlier, we're playing the San Diego Padres coming up.
Yep.
The Rangers are 43-44. About the definition of 500.
If
baseball
we're
numbers.
gonna make any kind of run, now's the time.
Yeah, so we're getting some guys back. So we got
Mhm.
Jake Berger back, who was hurt. We're going to get Wyatt Langford back pretty soon. He's one of our outfielders.
Mhm.
Evan Carter has been out because his grandfather passed away. So prayers go to the Carter family while they're
Mhm.
dealing with all of that. He was only going to take a couple of days, Tim, but they gave him more. And so now he has officially been listed on bereavement leave, which means he'll be out minimum 3 days.
Okay.
And so he'll be coming back pretty soon. And Tim, I don't know if you've seen him recently. So he, like, last year he struggled, but he had like a weird back issue
Mm.
that he had to rehab for.
Mm.
And ever since he's come back to the major league team this year, he's right back to form. Looks just like the old Evan Carter. Looking
Okay.
forward to it. And then Tim, the big story has been Josh Young. They sent him down to AAA.
Wow.
Okay, and Josh Young, like, he was known for his bat when we drafted him out of
Right.
Texas Tech. Like, that was what he was known for. Great defensive third baseman, great bat. And
Mhm.
Tim, he's super struggling. Super struggling. So they sent him down to AAA.
Well,
And so-
sometimes it takes a little
He had
rebuilding
options,
all
so I
over.
mean, sometimes you got to go back down to learn and adapt and all that kind of stuff. But Tim, he just looked lost up there. His last couple of at-bats, like over the weekend, I saw a couple. And he's like, he can't see the ball. I don't know if he knows where it's going. I don't know what the deal is. He's having some issues for sure. So hopefully Josh Young can get back on track. We need the offense to start kicking it into high gear like they have the last couple of days, and I think we'll be fine. Any other sports stuff? I don't really want. I mean, we can talk about WWE, but there's not a whole lot to talk about there. John Cena's last year is still going on, and so we've got all that. He's still a bad guy right now, Tim. It's gonna happen at some point. There'll be the switch. He's not gonna retire a bad guy, so that'll happen at some point. Netflix is doing the Dallas Cowboy documentary. Have you seen that?
I have not watched it yet.
I don't know if it's out yet.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it some.
Yeah, it's coming out. So, and I mean, still, how do you feel about Shoddy and all that kind of stuff? Still the same? Pretty much the same about everything?
I hate to get super optimistic, and then I hate to be down. It is what it is. We'll see. I'm going to wait and see. I'm just in wait mode. We'll see.
I understand. So, let's go ahead and talk about some movies and TV shows. Tim, I'll let you go first.
Okay.
And now you said you may have seen some of the ones that I
Well, you
saw.
taled about watching Trainwreck.
Yes, the Trainwreck series. Shows
I watched the Astro World tragedy
with Travis Scott.
Yeah, and I read about it in the news. I remember when it happened, but I really didn't know much about it.
So let's give everybody a primer real quick if you're not familiar. So this happened in Houston, Tim.
Right.
Travis Scott hosted this big concert called Astro World.
Which he'd done it the year before,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
So it's the second or third time,
right? And so they had like a main stage where a lot of the acts were like SZA and some of the other pop acts there. And then they had a stage just for Travis Scott because he's obviously the big deal to host and everything like that. And so really what the story was is that all of these fans kind of flooded into this stage with Travis Scott and people got hurt. They got trampled, squeezed to death. Yeah, exactly. So that's the entire documentary. But you get interviews with the people who died, their families. There's interviews with people who were underneath, like all the people and how they got out. And then
it was really good.
It was very good. It was really well done. Tim, what did you think about the whole thing?
Well, it's such a tragedy, but if anything, if something good could come out of it, I think that they learned a lot from it. And I could see, it's not like we don't want to have outdoor concerts and stuff, but the way that it went and the people that they didn't stop them at the gate. They just kind of overpowered. They're rushing. They're running in there. I think, though, through that tragedy, a lot can be learned. And I think that hopefully, in the future, it will prevent more things like that from happening. But really sad. It was really sad that you're going there to have a good time with your friends and some of your friends don't come home. It's just there's way more to it than I thought.
Me too.
Than it was. I thought it was just a random, but the whole planning of it and everything was all off. And just sometimes you try to get too big, and I really thinking
like
about
Travis
the
Scott,
safety of it.
I feel there were people literally yelling to stop the concert, and then even one of the promoters at one point was like, "We need to stop this thing." And they just didn't stop it. And that was the biggest thing. If they just would have stopped it, it would have put an end to a lot of the people getting squished to death. Instead, they kind of just rushed through to the end. And then as soon as the end was over, all these ambulances had to come in and grab all these people.
Right.
I mean, it was like, it looked like something out of
How many people died? Was it 13?
I get something like that. I forgot the total.
Maybe it was close over 10.
And this is in Houston. Houston's like 3 hours south of us, So, it was just right around the corner. So
I thought that was really interesting. I'm trying to think. There's some stuff I forget to tell you that I watch. I've been just, when we can talk a little bit about this, when the Iran-Israel conflict was happening, I was watching the news a lot. I was like, this is big. This is not just the normal shooting a few missiles, we're fighting. I thought, we're going to get involved somehow. And so I've been watching a lot of news and then a lot of stuff political-wise and things, just to stay informed. And to be honest, John, I like to listen to both sides of every story. I know I have viewpoints, and probably most people could guess how I feel on some issues, but you'd probably be surprised. There's a lot of stuff that I've come to, or that the older I get, I think I probably would make a good juror these days.
Yeah.
because a person maybe have a rap sheet or something, I want to know the evidence. I want to hear the thing. So, we can even talk about even the Diddy case, and stuff like that. So I've been kind of really focused. There's been
I
a lot.
listened to a lot on that.
Been a lot of news going on.
And
so
and the guy that killed the college students.
college students. Yeah. How strange. And
the plea deal.
What
was his name?
I
gotta
forgot.
look it up now.
But it was so weird that the plea deal will. But I'd rather have the trial where you can figure
the plea deal came out of nowhere.
what in the heck was going through this guy's head.
Yeah.
You know, and then the shooting that happened. Where they called the firemen out and shot him. You know, I'm like, what?
Kohlberger.
Yeah.
Kohlberger was the guy
In Idaho. You know.
Yes, and
like,
I mean, so that thing was so crazy because I mean, I think even the families thought that it was going to trial. Pretty much everybody thought it was going to trial, and it's like they struck this like midnight plea deal. And here's the thing, Tim, that nobody's talking about: the minimum sentence. So he can get up to 50 years per person, which is there are 4 people.
He'll be in
and
jail
in 10 years,
life.
well, here's the thing: and in 10 years for the one break-in account, the burglary.
Okay.
Okay, but the minimum sentence on each of those is 10 years. He could have a minimum of 50 years and be out.
Yeah.
Okay, if he gets 10 years on each count, which is the minimum sentence, and then 10 years on the burglary, that'd only be 50 years. He could still get out while he's alive.
Still.
If that's, of course, that's if the, like I said, that's if they give him the minimum.
If the minimum.
So, I mean, but that's something to think about.
They throw the book at him.
Right, exactly. I mean, the judge could just say 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, and he's done. Right? I mean, we're going to give you 50 years maximum. But that's the maximum. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we'll just have to see. But the thing that broke my heart the most was the victims' families and what they thought of the plea deal.
Yeah.
Because they weren't even really consulted. Like, usually the prosecution
will talk to
the families and say, hey, look, guys.
What we're thinking about.
We have this on. We want to hear from you. We have this on the table.
At
we have
least
this plea
prepare
deal.
it.
Right, exactly.
Prepare them for it.
But, I mean, like here, they would literally go to, like, the prosecutor would go to the families and at least say, look, we're considering this. What do y'all think?
Right.
They may, like, the prosecution may not have acted on what they thought, but they would get the input on it, right? Like, they would sit with the family and get the input. That obviously didn't happen. They got an email to him.
Right.
An email letting them know the plea deal is happening. That's ridiculous. So, I don't know. Idaho did not seem like they wanted to mess with this at all. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like the whole state just didn't want to do anything with it. They've only put 9. I think they only have put 9 people on death row or something like that.
Yeah.
There. That's not Texas, guys. By the way, I mean, Texas, where it's 100 and something, whatever it is. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, but So I mean, Idaho doesn't feel like they wanted to really mess with this at all. They wanted to sweep it as fast and as quickly under the rug as possible, and that's a shame because it feels like the family of the victims, should have gotten more of a say in all, if nothing else. That's what I think. So. But the Kohlberger was interesting. What do you think happened in the Diddy case? I mean, he got acquitted of pretty much all the serious charges.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like we're going to convict him on some stuff. But you notice, though, they didn't let him out of jail. Right. So I think, in my opinion, the judge was upset that he didn't get convicted on a more serious charge. So why not just let him out if he's not going to give him much of a sentence? Sure. So he may be going for a max sentence on the smaller charges that he did get convicted of. And, I wasn't there, we didn't hear all the trial, but, it's always, I guess everybody has an opinion and stuff. But, I guess the fact that it looked like if you were his family or his, lawyers, you would say you won.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
you
for
won.
Sure.
Yeah, you won.
For sure.
So, it is what it is. Yep. I don't know that, but he does not look very good. Nope. And definitely.
Hey, I mean,
if nothing else, I think it brought to light a lot of stuff. We actually had a pretty good conversation. Me and my wife did about stuff like when we were younger days and in college and stuff. There was a lot of stuff that happened that, today we would think, oh my gosh, that's awful or that shouldn't have happened. And so, there was a lot of stuff that people were getting away with for a long time that I don't think they would see that way anymore. Sure. You'd have to, I think a lot of stuff still goes on, but at the same time, I think a lot of it's been brought to light that maybe can stop some of that too.
We'll see. Let's get to some more. Any other TV shows, Tim? You have anything else? You said news and
that's it. Besides, I told you we've been watching Switched at Birth. I'm really interested. Kind of pick back up. I have a niece that was born deaf, and when I was young, in order to communicate with her, we did sign language, and my sister did sign language, and my brother-in-law, And so it kind of forgotten about it over the years, and it's kind of brought back up. I got an app on my phone. I've been practicing a little bit of sign language because I think it's really cool because it's like a universal.
Yeah.
Almost. American Sign Language is almost universal. And but then it makes me wonder sometimes, well, how did that come up for that sign? That isn't if you would have said, make a sign for this, I would have come up with something different. I don't know. But I really like that show, and we've been watching that. So it's one of those really long 7 seasons, 20 seasons, all hour episodes. So we're still in like season 4 or something of that. Once I watch a little news, it's time for bed every night. I'm old. Not much else. What have you been watching?
So I've been watching a lot of stuff. I do want to get to Joe's real quick. Ironheart, worst ever, or the second worst ever. So I have not watched Ironheart. Have you seen the previews for this?
I have.
Okay.
And
I have not watched it.
I want to watch it, but
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I will report back next month after I watch it. I am reserving all judgments till then. I am not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I want to watch it.
Okay.
Okay.
Me too.
So
I want to see it.
I don't want to say anything about it. We'll see. Joe says, not a Diddy fan, but if I walk into a house with 500 bottles of baby oil, I'm out. Yeah, for sure.
Joe, that's funny.
Oh, absolutely. So let me talk about the things that I talked about. First thing, let's talk about Novocaine, which is on Paramount
Yes,
Plus.
I saw the preview.
So this has what's his name from The Boys? I forget. He's a famous actor's son. I can't think of his name, but basically he plays a character who cannot feel pain.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the whole thing.
Right, it's kind of like Unbreakable.
Yeah, well, a little different.
A little different.
He can't feel pain, so he has to be super careful.
Right.
Okay, so like if he at the beginning he liquefies all of his food because he's scared if he's biting, he may bite off his tongue and not realize it because he can't feel the pain.
Okay.
So he's super, like at the beginning of the movie, he's super careful. Okay. Well, then he falls in love. He works at a bank and he falls in love with one of the tellers. Okay. And the teller gets kidnapped during a bank robbery. Okay. That's his mind. And then guess what happens?
So then he realizes, I'm going to go get her.
So he's never really had a real serious relationship before. And so he goes on one date with her though, and they just click, right? Okay. And so like they're kind of making eyes at each other. He's like a loan officer, she's a teller, and then all of a sudden bank robbery happens. The robbers kidnap her.
It's a show, not a movie,
it's a movie.
Right?
No, it's a movie. It's a movie. And then guess what he does? He goes after her.
Oh, okay.
And there is a lot more to it.
Right.
I'm giving you a very base outline.
You liked it.
It was way better than a movie with this concept should ever be.
Wow.
It is amazing. There are twists and turns that I did not see coming. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is really good. It was so good that I should have gone to bed and I stayed up and watched the whole thing. Like I was gonna. Typically, guys, I watch half a movie and then I watch it the other half like at another time because I only have so much time before bedtime. Right. I got so invested in it. I just went through it. So if you have Paramount Plus,
I think I do.
Paramount Plus, it is free to watch on Paramount Plus. Novocaine, watch it. That's his nickname because like when he was growing up, they teased him because he couldn't feel pain. Right. Okay. So like that's where the name comes from. You know, they kind of gave him that name. Like they teased him with it when he was a kid. So, but it is way better than any other movie, than a movie based on the concept should be, right? This concept is ridiculous. Person can't feel pain. It is ridiculous, and it is definitely worth your time. Yeah, you should see it on.
I'm pulling it up. I'm going to save it on my stuff.
Novo. Like, Tim's like right now, he's done his.
I've been seeing it. I want to watch it.
Yeah, so just my list. Boom.
There we go.
Okay, watch it. It's way better than what you think it should be. Now, it's got language. Okay, language. Okay. But it is really good. Alan says, I saw it in the theater. It was great. He's right. Alan is right. It is way better than what it should be. So it's the movie Kick-Ass. Yeah, similar, a little bit, very similar, I would say. If you like that style, it's got some language, it's got some things, but you should watch it. It's good. So now let me talk about some of the on-demand stuff I got while I was sick. Queen of the Ring is a movie about it takes place like in it may be right after World War II. We're talking about like the 50s ish.
It's like female boxer?
Pro wrestling.
Okay.
About the first female pro wrestler. It's based on a real story. Okay. And it's got the lead is the girl who played in Arrow opposite Stephen Amell. I can't think of her name at the moment. But it's got some other actresses you'll notice in there too. It's got Josh Lucas from from Sweet Home Alabama.
Okay.
He plays in it. It's got what's his name? That's in everything nowadays. That was in the Unicorn, and he's got doing the Walmart commercials now. And what's his name? You know what I'm talking about.
So what is that on?
You have to get it on demand. You can rent it for I think $6.
Okay,
if you want to do a rental.
It's a movie.
Yeah, it's a rental. But
on Prime Video.
Yeah, you can rent it on Prime. Let's see. I'm going to look up the cast because I want to make sure I got all the people on here. Okay. Yeah, it's about Mildred Burke, the champion professional wrestler who pioneered the sport at a time when all-girl wrestling was banned in America. So that is the.
So what did you think about it? You liked it?
Very good.
Really?
So it's got Deborah Ann Wall, who is also in Daredevil.
Okay.
So if you've seen Daredevil, it's got her. Emily Bett Rickards is the main character, and she, like I said, she played the girl. She played Stephen Amell's assistant in Arrow, the TV show.
Okay.
I've seen
yeah, that's good.
Let's see.
I want to go back and watch Arrow again.
Yeah, Arrow's really good.
I haven't watched it long.
Like I said, Josh Lucas is in it, which is really interesting. Walton Goggins, who's in everything now.
Okay.
This guy.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen him in everything,
yes.
right? He's in this too. So you will recognize him from this, but yeah, it's got some pro wrestlers in there. So if you know pro wrestling, you'll see some of the female pro wrestlers play different parts in it.
Okay.
But it is really good. It is not as good as Novocaine.
Okay.
But it is really good, and it's worth your time if you like pro wrestling and you like history. If you like either one of those, it's worth your time. So
Okay.
If you don't like history and you don't like wrestling, you won't like it.
I love it. Probably.
If you like one or the other, you'll be good. Let's talk about Friendship.
Okay.
Friendship is weird.
Strange movie.
Have you seen the previews for this?
I
It's
don't know
got
what that
Tim
is.
Robbins from
Shawshank
Netflix.
Redemption?
No. Not that. What's his name? Hang on. See, I'm gonna have to look this up too.
Mhm.
I look all this stuff up beforehand, but
That's
again,
all right.
COVID kind of messed me up. Let's see. Tim Robinson from Netflix, who does that clip show, whatever it is. I forgot the name of it. He used to be a writer on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And it also has Paul Rudd.
Okay.
Okay, so you think
it's funny. You think it's gonna be funny?
No,
I mean, with them guys in it.
Yes, but it's not. It's weird.
Okay, just strange.
Basically, the whole movie is about how hard it is for middle-aged men to make friends.
Okay.
That is what the whole movie's about.
All right.
And so it's kind of weird because of that. There's a lot of. If you like awkward style comedy,
Mhm.
you'll like it.
Okay.
Okay,
maybe.
so think The Office but more awkward.
How did you like it?
I wouldn't watch it again.
Okay.
It was okay. It was okay the first time. I really wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you are a Tim Robinson fan
Okay.
or a major Paul Rudd fan. We're not talking about like funny comedy Paul Rudd. Like if
Okay.
you like deep cuts of Paul Rudd, if you like that kind of stuff, then you'd like it. Or if you like Tim Robinson, because it's definitely that style of comedy. So, which I think you should leave. I think is the show on Netflix that he does.
Okay.
The clip show, the comedy
Yeah.
show. So if you haven't seen that, I think that's what it's called. And so if you haven't seen that, if you don't know Tim Robinson, then I don't know if it's worth your time. And if
Okay.
you're not a super huge Paul Rudd fan, like you've seen every one of his movies, but it's an awkward comedy movie, a very
Okay.
awkward, dark comedy movie. So
Fair
if
enough.
you don't like that, don't watch it. Then Tim, let's talk about a working man who has
Here we go
Statham,
again.
Jason Statham.
Okay.
Okay, Jason Statham plays the lead. He's a construction worker, former ex-Special Forces military guy. His boss at the construction site, his daughter gets kidnapped, and he goes after him
Okay.
because he's ex-Special Forces military.
Right.
It is a run-of-the-mill Jason Statham movie.
Okay.
you know
Pretty
what
much
you're
like
getting.
every Jason Statham movie.
Exactly.
Okay.
Pretty much Transporter, like the
Right.
same concept. But here's the thing. It is over the top ridiculous in places, just like every Jason Statham movie,
Yeah.
I guess. But I feel like the Transporter series is a little bit more realistic than some of this.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like the fight scenes were as good as some other Jason Statham movies.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's okay.
If you're looking for a nice revenge piece, you
Mhm.
know, it's good. If you like action movies, boom, it's good. I mean, Jason Statham doesn't make a bad action movie. The action scenes are great. So, I would not rent it. Wait for that to come out on Netflix.
Okay.
Friendship, I definitely wouldn't rent. Again, just wait for
Mhm.
that to come out on something. And if you have exhausted all your options, watch Friendship. But Queen of the Ring and Novocaine, worth your time. Definitely see.
Watch them. Okay.
Definitely watch them. We've been watching Lego Masters on Fox. Tim, new season's
Of
out.
course,
Love
yeah.
Lego Masters. We watch it every year. Been watching Poker Face on Peacock, and this season's a lot darker than the first season. But Poker Face is a whodunit in every episode. Every episode is a whodunit.
Okay.
It's a serialized case of the week style show. Both. So it's like each episode is its own little case, but then there's
a
an
big
overarching big storyline that goes along with it. Okay. But they're all murder mysteries. Like every episode is a murder mystery.
Okay.
And it's done by the same guy who did Knives Out. I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm talking about. So I mean, if you like that Knives Out whodunit style, Poker Face is fantastic. So, but some of the episodes this season, dark. Now, with that said, some of the actors they got, amazing. Like, how did they get these people for this show? Like, they got some actors, like, you will think, that's a movie actor. What's he doing in this?
Right.
You know, kind of thing. And it's probably because Ryan Johnson, right? I think is the guy. He probably, because he works in movies a lot, knows actors, right? And he's just like, hey, come do an episode for me or whatever. So it's really good. Poker Face is dark. The season's darker, but it's still good. I watched The Untold Liver King, which I had been wanting to watch.
I watched that.
But with the news that just came out about him getting arrested for going after Joe Rogan, did you hear about that?
No, I did
he got
not hear
arrested
that.
in Austin because he was going to go after Joe Rogan.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to watch it like all the way through. I think I'd fallen asleep a couple of times. That guy's crazy. Guys.
Yeah.
I have a podcast I listen to, and the guy was obsessed with him, and so that's the only way I knew him. I'd never even seen him before, but it's very interesting. That guy's messed up.
Yeah.
Messed up, and he was taking roids the whole time. You can tell. You know, don't give me that.
For sure.
And then I literally last night watched The Cult of American Apparel, which is another train wreck. Another in the train wreck series. So, American Apparel was a store, Tim, that was very popular, like early 2000s, 2004-ish, and they made everything in America.
Okay.
And
I
it was
remember
very much kind of in the same Abercrombie and Fitch style,
Yeah.
very kind of risque clothing and things like that. But it's basically the rise and fall of it. And how it went, how the company was run and everything, and how the guy was just a psycho. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what it really is about. But the funny thing is that a lot of the people who worked there would still be working there, like they loved it.
Wow.
They're putting in 120-hour work weeks and stuff.
Wow.
So, Joe says it breaks my heart, but Jason Statham has taken over the role of Bruce Willis. Bruce's best work was ironically a Gorillaz music video called My Style. I have seen that music video. And now here's the thing about, and that's probably about right. Bruce Willis and Jason Statham, very similar, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so.
I feel like Jason Statham's better action and better with his action stuff. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of sad. But here's the thing. Jason Statham, I've heard that The Beekeeper is really good. That's my next one on my list. A Working Man came out more recently, but Beekeeper is apparently better, is what I've heard. So I don't know. We'll see. But we'll be watching some other stuff. I really want to go take the kids to see the live action How to Train Your Dragon. We haven't seen that yet. And I've been sick and we've had things going on, and so maybe we'll get around to that. Thunderbolts just came out on demand. I think it was yesterday, Tim.
Okay.
And so I recommended that when I saw it in the movie theater, and I still recommend it. You should go see it. You should rent it even. It's worth your time. Okay. Thunderbolts is fantastic. Even if you're not a Marvel fan.
Right.
It helps if you're a Marvel fan.
Right.
But it stands alone on its own. Heads of State came out, I think, today, Tim, which has John Cena and Idris Elba. John Cena plays the president. Idris Elba plays the prime minister. And somehow all their Secret Service detail kind of goes kaput, and they're on the lam. People are trying to kill them. Okay. And so they go on the lam together. So it's John Cena and Idris Elba. They're on the lam together as the Prime Minister of England and the President of the United States. Okay. It looks ridiculous and fun. So I'm in, Tim. I'm in.
Okay.
And guys, I would be remiss if I didn't say it. And it almost makes me sad in a way, but I can't help it. I really want to see Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the trailer, and I'm like, the trailer just looks like more Happy Gilmore. And I'm like, yes, shoot it into my veins, please, all of it. I really want to.
Will that go straight to Netflix?
Yeah, straight to Netflix in July. So by the next time that we're together, we will have seen it.
Watched it. Yeah.
We will have watched it. So
how can you not watch Happy Gilmore 2?
I'm sorry, the original is fantastic, man. That early Sandler stuff, man, is so good. So Billy Madison, Tim, is amazing too. So yes, Happy Gilmore 2 we will be watching, and I am looking forward to that. There's what other movies are coming out, Tim? I had some other stuff on my watch list. Is there anything that you got? I was about
we
to
did
say.
see Karate Kid.
What'd you think?
Yeah, we loved it.
It was worth your time.
It was good.
Yeah, Karate Kid Legends is way better than what the reviews were.
I thought.
Yeah, I was about to say way better. Oh, the F1 movie. So it's done by the director of Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
People are saying this thing is fantastic.
Oh, the F1 movie.
The
I
F1
did
with
see
Brad
the
Pitt.
previews. That looked pretty good.
And it is produced by Apple, so it'll be coming to Apple TV at some point.
Okay.
But people have said it is amazing. So
That looks
the
good.
F1 movie is on my list. I have not seen the latest Mission Impossible, Tim. I want to see that. I'll have to probably wait because I don't have time to.
Did you
it
see
otherwise.
Stitch with the kids?
We saw Lily
That
on
looks
Stitch. I think
good.
I mentioned that last month.
Yeah,
we
I
did.
think it
Yeah, but
looks
remember
good.
we had a short. After show.
Yes.
I did see Lilo and Stitch. It was good. Let's see what's coming soon here. Superman, I want to see bad.
Yes,
So
Superman is on
maybe
my
we'll go
list.
see Superman before we.
When's it come out? Next
July
week?
11th.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
So Fantastic Four is on my list. Maybe we'll get to see that beforehand. Looking at all the stuff here. Naked Gun is on my list, Tim.
Yes.
It looks amazing. That one is on the list to see for sure. Let's see. I think that may be it for now. Yeah, I'm not seeing Bad Guys 2. The kids will probably want to go see.
Mhm.
So, in fact, we may see that before we do the next live show. That comes out in August. So, I think that's it. I don't see anything else that's on my list right now. But if you end up seeing any of those movies, let us know on the next after show. We'd love to do that. Tim, you got anything else in your bucket you want to empty out before we move on?
No, I'm ready to get started with my 4th of July celebration.
Okay, well, we're going to let you guys do the same. So happy 4th of July for those of you guys who are in the United States. We hope you have a wonderful one. Go spend it with some family and friends. Shoot off some fireworks. Have some fun. Cook out like me and Tim. Hamburgers. Yeah, do that. And for those of you guys who are not here in the United States, then, do that. Joe says Avengers Doomsday. That one's coming out pretty soon. Or that's the next Avengers movie. I'm curious. But I think it's
I
not
don't know if I'm just going to run to the theater and see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll probably watch it when it comes out.
A lot of it kind of depends on how good the Marvel movies are leading up to it.
Right.
So, I mentioned Thunderbolts is really good, but if Fantastic Four is bad, that's gonna taint my taste a little bit for Marvel movies. So, we're just gonna have to see. So, but Fantastic Four looks good. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. But anyway. So y'all have a happy 4th of July. For those of you guys who may not be in the United States, we just hope you have a great month of July. Hopefully it goes well, treats you well. If you're in summer right now, go out and have some fun. Summer days, Tim. I think about all the great 80s songs that are about the summertime.
Right.
And how it always seems endless. They always describe summertime as endless. It ends, folks.
Yeah,
so go out there and spend it wisely is what I will tell you. So we look forward to seeing you guys next month. Take care. Have a great night. God bless. And we'll see you 5 weeks from now, August 7th, right?
Yep, August 7th.
See you then, guys. Take care.